It is a jam-packed bank holiday weekend, and it is a Monday edition of the ChairShot Podcast coming to you via your podcast supplier of choice. We've got a load to do. It really has been one of the busiest Easters I can remember, to be perfectly honest. I know obviously everyone's going to want us to just jump straight in and talk about the thrilling, exciting, newsworthy, top-notch wrestling show. And don't worry, we will be reviewing Dynamite. So stick around for that. I know, we're joking. I'm joking. We will, of course.
I mean, everything you said was factual.
Everything I said was correct, but that's for your work rate, nerds. What about those of us who want a little bit of entertainment, okay? A little bit of cinema, okay? Memorable moments, okay? The things we actually all care about. And
crazy characters, wacky sketches.
We will be reviewing The Last of Us as well. Also, I've watched like about 3 TikToks worth of 2 nights of WrestleMania. That will probably be
our resident WWE reporter is on site.
Don't worry. That's correct.
Yeah, Joe.
I saw the clip of Roman Reigns doing a spear and Seth Rollins turning it into a pedigree. I think was what was supposed to have happened there. So we'll get to that.
Where people were like, "This is the finest wrestling maneuver since Hogan first dropped the leg."
Since Hulk Hogan invented the leg drop in 1984.
Busy show coming up. Also, lots of news coming out of Mania weekend. And we have some AEW news as well. How has your long weekend been, boys, before we jump into all the wrestling? It is Easter. A solemn Easter, of course, because we're eating our eggs very solemnly because the Pope passed away.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. to the big man. He saw WrestleMania. He was like, I can take no more of this. I just... yeah.
Good take to go, innit? Day off.
Yeah.
Monday.
He hung around. He wanted to make sure we got
one last Easter egg.
Yeah,
he went.
Do you get many Easter eggs? We actually got loads because my mum brought me some, because it doesn't matter how old I am. She will always bring me one, and one from my soon-to-be wife. I got one from my job, and she got one from her job as well. So we actually have a load of Easter eggs. You got 2, Paul?
Yeah, I wasn't on site, so I'm sure there might be one waiting for me if I go on site this week. That's not a bad idea.
Okay, hopefully it's a well-mediated room, so it's not like a Easter puddle when you get in.
No. This is the thing, right? I am a big fat pig, so that's understandable that people might think that I might have just a room full of eggs. But I had 2. I bought myself one of those Dairy Milk Ultimate Egg, the chunky ones, because they were on sale. Original price, no, the sale price was still nothing to sniff at, but original price was €16, sale price 12.
Okay,
that's all right. If I'm going to buy myself one egg this Easter, I'm going to buy myself the big chunky egg as a treat. But I also did have purchased for me one of the standard, not too little, but not too big, kind of medium tier wisp eggs, which is long gone, of course. That was my WrestleMania night 1 egg, and the chunky egg was WrestleMania night 2. But I'm still eating the chunky egg. That's how much value for money I got out of it.
Wow.
It is delicious.
Nuts.
What number? 40? I'm just looking up. I'm just getting the cards ready here. 41, wasn't it?
40. Probably.
Yeah. Actually, I haven't actually cracked open any of the actual eggs yet. I've as I always do.
What are you waiting for?
Well, because when am I in the mood to like
the minute I wake up, I'm in the mood for
chocolate.
I guess.
I open my eyes in the morning and there's a bit of egg in my mouth already.
But what I was going to say was I've eaten most of the little bars / Vinny eggs that come with them. So you
can have those all year long though.
But I can have the Easter egg whenever I have it now. It's in my possession. I can have it whenever I want.
Nah. This lad's doing Easter wrong, Joe. He's doing...
I didn't realize the Easter police were here. I know we're all descending into fascism, but Jesus Christ, the Easter Gestapo were here. Fucking hell.
I'm glad the Pope's dead, because if he was alive to see this, he'd be furious.
So that's what happened on Easter in 2000 years ago. Baramidius was not eating his eggs right, and Jesus pushed through his shoulder out of this. Going, what is going on here? Sorry, I know I was gone. I had to come back and say something.
This guy is out of it. Yeah, so that's Easter guff. Hope you are all stuffing your face with delicious eggs.
Me and Joe are both literally doing it
right now.
Speak.
Listen, I'm a professional. I wouldn't
be.
be eating something to get my mouth all.
I'm just going to sprinkle the foil up. Hang on, yeah, me too. Go ASMR. Sprinkle foil.
Yeah, that's what ASMR is. Yeah, I'm crinkling my little packets here. Let's jump straight into the Mania cards here, and we'll talk about all the news, what came out of it later. Let me pull up these things here. All right, so I'm going to run through this card. Paul, you give me your thoughts as we go here. And me and Joe can weigh in with like the our respective 30 seconds we saw along the way. Jey Uso defeated Gunther.
Yeah.
In 16 minutes. Now, Paul, I mean, you and I have seen Gunther wrestle like a million times, one of the best wrestlers of this generation. Surely Big Owl Jay showed up and showed out in this match, I'm to understand.
It was all right, to be fair.
Okay.
I mean, one thing that I think, just to set the tone, first of all, is that, night one of WrestleMania was quite weak until kind of the latter stages.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the first time I watched a WrestleMania and didn't get that special WrestleMania feeling. I felt like I was watching a SmackDown.
Right.
Which is partially because of the weakness of the card, but also partially because, I guess, your typical Raw and SmackDown production value-wise has also come up lately. So it didn't feel like a very special show. The match itself was okay. Odd finish, which is just like, you remember when Bret Hart, a good wrestler, would sometimes finish his match with like the same 5-move sequence.
Mm-hmm.
Jey Uso did that here, where he just did like all of Gunther's moves in a row and beat him with the choke. There wasn't like a back and forth. It was very much not a slip on a banana peel. He basically just beat the shit out of him with his moves, weirdly. So like doing the power bomb and the splash and and then he put him in the choke, and Gunther does that thing where he taps out very quickly from, that's his character, right? He's a big powerhouse, but really once it's against him, he's a bit of a coward. So he got put in the choke, and Jey Uso won. I think the biggest takeaway for me, I'm just looking through my text. I was texting my friend during the show, so just so I don't forget anything. I said it was a very 2.5 star match. You might have seen on socials already that they use Survivor Series.
I did see that, yeah.
Graphics for the replays, which is very, very strange. But one thing that my takeaway from this is, my expectation was going in was, well, they're putting the belt on Jey, and they're going to get that big, in inverted commas, moment of the pyro going off, him with the belt maybe on the top turn, and the entire crowd doing the yeet arms. And I feel like they never truly got that moment. For whatever reason, it just never all came together in one kind of shot that you can put into a video package.
Yeah.
During his entrance and in the post-match, it was at like 75%. It never reached full climax, which for me was the whole reason for doing it. So, to that extent, sort of a failure. The match itself was fine. Was not the big WrestleMania Gunther match that maybe you might have been used to getting from the past few years, like the Sami Zayn match, the triple threat match with Drew and Sheamus. It's probably his weakest Mania match to date, but it was fine. It was okay.
To your earlier point about this feeling like an episode of TV, the New Day won the tag titles from the War Raiders. If you asked me, are the War Raiders still in WWE prior to this?
They're champions.
Yeah, I did not know they were champions. So the New Day won.
Viking Raiders.
Yeah,
versus the New Day.
Yeah,
it's
also,
Vince back.
But also, like, I mean, the big fucking thing with Big E they did a couple of months ago. I mean, I haven't heard a peep about the New Day since that, basically. I mean,
this was my biggest complaint. This was my biggest complaint, is that, like the Cena turn, the New Day turn at the time seemed like a big deal.
The biggest thing, yeah.
And they have done nothing since then. This was in what, November, December? I forget exactly what it was. November-ish, December-ish. they do like interviews during the ads on Netflix. That's what they can recommend to do. They don't do anything on any of these shows. So they come out and they won the belts. If you were expecting, and this is going to be a recurring theme, by the way, if you were led to believe by the original turn, that there would probably be some Big E involvement, your expectations were incorrectly set because there was no Big E involvement in any way whatsoever.
So they just had a match. New Day won.
They just had a match and the New Day just won. Now you might say, well, Paul, Big E is not cleared to wrestle.
Should have done an angle with him then. Shouldn't have done a big angle.
Or he can be involved without taking a pile driver. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
All he needs to do is jump up on the apron and the distraction. We love distractions, but like just something, you know. So the New Day just won, and that was it. And so this was like a match you would see on a random Raw. Quality wise, everything. I will say there was also a trend throughout this WrestleMania of really, really cheap looking entrance gear.
Oh.
So New Day came out with this mad, elaborate, I don't know if it was Dragon Ball, Thundercats hybrid, crazy looking thing. The Viking Raiders came out in like something you look like you would have made an art project in like.
Oh, they came out with their gear, yeah.
In your first year. No, but like proper, like, you know, in school you would do like make a costume out of recycled materials, and you're like cutting up Sprite bottles and sticking it to like crepe paper.
Yeah.
It was that kind of thing. It looked rubbish, and there was actually a few people who had that problem throughout the show, but nothing to report on this one. Very blah match.
Jade defeated Naomi.
Yes. Very competent match. Now,
okay, I would have assumed the worst. Yeah,
me too. Before we get on to the Jade match, do you hear that they're having a TLC match for the SmackDown tag team titles on SmackDown this week?
I did not hear that. I don't even know who the champions are. So hang on, let me think. I'm going to.
Is it the DIY Street Profits, Machine Guns? I think those three are having a TLC match.
Okay.
Why not do the TLC match at WrestleMania? I know we don't love a modern ladder match, but these two nights had so little in the way of like gimmick matches just to break up the action and differentiate. I was crying out for a TLC match.
Yeah, I'm just looking at it here. Okay, wow, that's bizarre. Yeah,
on the SmackDown after WrestleMania to do the TLC, do it at WrestleMania, you idiots.
Yeah, I mean that just goes to show how far the stock of a lot of these people have fallen. I mean, Motor City Machine Guns, another one, came over to WWE. It was this big thing. People were so happy for him, and like never really hear much about him anymore.
No, that's the WWE model. I don't think they fit. The two guys who can have good matches but are low on personality.
Yeah.
Jade and Naomi, I really had the worst expectations. I thought, you know, this is going to need to be short and sweet, or it's going to be like a total dud. They were careful, but there were some cool spots. There was like a Naomi coming off the top, caught into like a jackhammer, which is very cool.
Okay.
It was good. I mean, it was perfectly passable. And they went, I mean, not decently long. One thing that was notable about night one is that I think 5 of the first 7 matches went like 10 minutes or under or something.
Yeah, I
really fast.
I've got the times here on Wikipedia. This is just the Triple H.
What is this called, like 9 minutes or something?
16 minutes, 9 minutes, 9 minutes, 10 minutes, 8. These shows are like 5 hours long. What are you doing in between all the time?
Well, I saw a statistic that was like night one had 2 hours 15 of downtime and 1 hour 40 of match time or something like that.
That's crazy.
I mean, look, it's WrestleMania. The entrances are going to take up a huge amount of time, and they did, you know.
Oh, God.
But yeah, I mean, the match was fine. The match was fine. I mean, the one thing that I will say is, and this was true in a lot of the women's matches, is that outfits are such that they spend a lot of time constantly adjusting themselves. Like Ray with the mask against Eddie that one time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
There was a lot of that.
Yeah.
But the match was good. The match was good.
Next on this episode of SmackDown, Jacob Fatu defeated LA Knight.
LA Knight, a guy who I have no interest in watching wrestle. He comes out and does the and does he still say dummy from the? I don't know if he does that.
I think it's not as much of a catchphrase as it was in TNA, but he still says it. I'm fairly sure.
All right, that shit. But the second the bell rings, I check out. Jacob Fatu had a werewolf mask because he's a Samoan werewolf.
Yeah.
So he didn't go to like one of these professional mask makers. It looked like he bought a plastic Halloween mask for €2 in his local like Londis.
No.
Absolutely atrocious. Well, I'll tell you what I thought about the match. During the match, I was talking about the Orange Cassidy's Mr. Bean entrance from All In. So we were not really talking about the match itself. No. LA Knight's not very good. Jacob Fatu is, but, takes two to tango. So he won, and that was the end of it.
Up next, maybe you could explain, Paul, if this makes more sense having watched it than this result reads in context, right? Obviously, WWE bought AAA. We'll talk about that after we run through these cards, right?
Yes.
Rey Mysterio was removed from this match versus El Grande Americano, which is Chad Gable doing a fucking
new joke.
midnight. And Chad Gable's 800th comedy gimmick. Thank God Vince is gone, though. I mean, Vince's bad ideas with the great workers in comedy gimmicks. I mean, just thank God that's gone. I mean, thank God.
God.
So they buy AAA. They're doing this feud with Rey. I don't know if Rey is actually hurt or this was just for the purposes of showcasing a new guy. They swap Mysterio in for Rey Fenix, okay, debuting out of Guantanamo Bay and all this other stuff, right? They have a 7-minute match that Chad Gable wins inexplicably. I know he has the loaded mask. That's his
yes.
gimmick. By the way, because these men were wrestling, by the way, in 1957, I believe it was. Doing a loaded mask gimmick. I mean, did it seem any more like sensical or great heat in the moment? Because this seems like such a moronic thing to do.
No, it was very strange. I mean, I know when Rey got injured first, which I believe was legitimate, there was talk that they were going to substitute in Dragon Lee because the original idea was for Gable to win. So when they announced that actually it was going to be Rey Fenix, I was kind of surprised. So I thought, oh, maybe they figure, fuck it, we just have Rey Fenix win. Because he's new to the roster, kind of like Penta. I don't think he's quite hit the ground running like Penta has. But yeah, very surprised then when Gable won. I mean, that was obviously the plan going in, was that Gable's going to win and that the storyline would be prolonged. But I'm not sure that it helps Phoenix short term to lose at WrestleMania so soon after his debut, but
against a guy that they're obviously never going to push in a meaningful way. I mean, he's been doing this routine for a while. I can understand him beating Mysterio, to be clear, because like Mysterio's very much in the sunsetting phase of his career.
Right.
He just got beat. He's like a whole generation behind Rey. That this is very, very odd. Very, very odd.
Yeah. I mean, the match was good for the short duration.
I'd imagine. Yeah, I could see these two having a good match.
Yeah, very, very short again, though.
Yeah, less sub 8 minutes for this one. Tiffany Stratton defeated Charlotte Flair clean as a sheet, I believe, by pinfall, which was interesting.
Yeah, she got all her teeth knocked out.
Yeah, I saw a clip of Tiffany at
her teeth chipped.
The scrum, and she had a fucking knot on her forehead, like she had just wrestled, like she was the one fighting Butterbean at fucking
15
WrestleCon or whatever fucking show he was on this weekend. He did a match with Minoru Suzuki that by all accounts was an affront to God. Right. Because they're both like 60. Anyway, so it sounds like Tiffany got the full Charlotte experience in this match. How was it? Actually, I've kind of heard mixed things about the match. A lot of people, but what is it?
I'm surprised to hear it was so divisive because I thought it was like fine. Charlotte, I just don't. She's a little Cena to me, where she can have a good match, but I can never get on with her execution of the moves, with like how stuff looks when she does it. I don't like how her chops look, where she like throws her whole upper body back when she does it. I don't like how her moonsaults look. She does a moonsault. I mean, it's fine. There's something in the execution that I just don't gel with. Obviously, she's very unlikable. personality as well. I don't know if personally she is, but like on TV she comes off as very unlikable. And Stratton is very, very, very inexperienced, but I think Stratton had a good night. I thought she looked good. She looks a lot like Jennifer Coolidge, something I remarked during the match. She's like a young Jennifer.
Oh yeah, that's actually a good show.
But no, and she's only 25. She's very, very young. So,
Yes.
like, I mean, I thought she had a good night for her experience level. Charlotte, I mean, what do you do with Charlotte in 2025? Like, she's literally done everything. She's feuded with everybody. The fans don't particularly like her as a heel or face.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing, because I think what you do, hypothetically what you do with her is what you did here, which is you build her up to put over new people. But how much is Tiffany really getting out of it? Because people just don't seem to care anymore. Do you know what I mean? I mean, it's the chickens coming home to roost on conversations that were being had like 5 years ago about how everyone was just like, oh my God, I'm so over Charlotte. You know, many years ago at this stage, people were feeling that. And so now if she's in the pass the torch phase, fair enough. But I mean, yeah, I think Tiffany might have gotten more out of like having an epic with like Bianca Belair or something than beating Charlotte, you know?
Yes, which we'll come around to.
Come to shortly. That brings us to our quote unquote main event. Seth Rollins defeated CM Punk and Roman Reigns by pinfall. Before we get to the capital C cinema here at the end, what did you make of the match?
I mean, it was by far the best match on night one. It was the match that came off as the most important. It was the match that felt like it had actual stars in it that you cared to watch. Seth Rollins notwithstanding. No, Seth Rollins had a good night as well. No, I thought this was like maybe the first match on the show that I felt like I was watching WrestleMania. Do you know what I mean?
That's kind of, I heard similar. Yeah, I kind of heard similar. It felt like people were into it. It felt special, and there were stakes, and the match was good. But
I would not agree with the sentiment that I've seen that it was a 5-star all-time classic.
I mean, this really is the thing. I mean, on the flip side of like Meltzerflation, you also have like these WWE fans and viewers are so starved for great wrestling that when they get something like that's pretty good, it has to be called the greatest thing that's ever fucking happened.
It's also the equivalent of Marvel fans saying that those films should win Oscars.
Absolutely.
Well, this is quite clearly the best film there's ever been. Name a better film than Avengers Part 2. And one.
In the same way they turn their nose up at the Oscars until there's a sniff of having one. They hate Meltzer, they hate Cage Match, they hate fans online, they hate work rate people until there's something approaching a notable work ratey match. Then it's all about, oh, this thing got a 9 on Cage Match. Then it's all about that, you know. So
I would say I would have had it in the 4 range.
Okay, that's good and especially because Mania main events are not guaranteed to be good at all. I mean, to be in the 4-star range. I mean, think about
we will come to that shortly.
I mean, pop yonder pin in that one for about 15 minutes in the future. I did see in my kind of weekly watching of a clip and then going, yes, this is why I don't watch this anymore. I saw, so for anyone who didn't see this, basically the way it happens is it grinds to a halt and it comes to the point where what the match is actually about. Is Paul Heyman going to help someone win or betray CM Punk or betray someone else or whatever? You remember the story going into this was Punk the favor, capital T, capital F, the favor that he cashed in was Heyman cornering him. Punk chose one of the most like in kayfabe, most deceitful people ever who has turned on everyone he's ever managed, including CM Punk 10 years ago. That didn't really get discussed in the build-up of this match. That one of the last things Punk did in the company was get betrayed by Paul Heyman. So it comes to point, Heyman gets in the ring with a chair. He hands it to CM Punk. He then hits CM Punk in the willy. He then presents the chair to Roman. He then hits Roman in the willy and aligns himself with and first of all, I mean that pairing, I mean that I'm not even exact. That is the most kind of go away heat. Like I have no desire to see these two, and in particular, right? So I watched the clip of this, right, and so Seth has his back to Paul and Roman before Paul turns on Roman. And Paul's like, I was always leading CM Punk on. I was always going to align with you, my tribal chief. And he is turning like possible health emergency red. I mean, he is turning it. He is foaming at the mouth. He is screaming, my tribal chief, just like the Shield, just like the... He's handing Roman the chair to turn on.
That's a very good impression, I guess.
And I'm like, he's screaming. McAfee is screaming. He's red in the face. There's, in case you didn't get the Shield illusion, that they've done, I think once a week since the Shield split up, they've done a Shield homage. Just like the Shield. Just like the Shield. I'm like, oh, how do people watch 1, 2, 4, 6 hours of this? I cannot stomach this 30 seconds. He hits Roman in the willy. Seth does his slow stand-up. It was a plan all along. McAfee, one of the most insufferable fucking public figures on this planet, he's screaming into his microphone, son of a bitch, no charisma, absolutely, doesn't have a pro wrestling voice, doesn't have good instincts, just completely destroys the moment. I had all I could take just watching this specific moment. I hated it. Oh my god, I hated it. It was so annoying.
Yeah, I mean, I had a similar take. So I had a concern that Paul Heyman was going to croak before the completion of the segment as well. He is like reached the proportions of like an egg, with like little stubby arms. So yeah, he's on the outside. He gets a chair, slides it into Punk, and then he's in the ring. But he's so like physically incapable now that he has to like waddle into position, which takes forever, and drags out the whole segment even worse. Gives Punk the low blow. My tribal chief, blah blah blah. Right?
Yeah.
Hits Roman with the low blow, but keeps the arm there and wiggles it around for some reason. Like he's just smushing his balls extra good for some reason. I don't know. One of the like it was like the low blow equivalent of like Vince taking the stunner. I don't know what he was doing. I do think, to be fair, that Rollins. But okay, I don't disagree with your point, Barry. First of all, but I think that Heyman going with Rollins was, to me, ultimately the more interesting choice than
of these options.
Punk or Roman.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
And the match was really good. Finish notwithstanding. Spear into a pedigree notwithstanding, which people were just coming over. Which was a fine spot. Don't get me wrong. It was good. But no, it was a really, really, really very good match. All the time you're waiting for what's Heyman going to do. The commentary you mentioned, Barry, the commentary throughout both of these nights, I thought was absolutely atrocious. Now, people talk about Michael Cole is let off the leash. He's unshackled. And for the most part, Michael Cole is good. But like when you get used to Excalibur every week on AEW, who's completely the other end of the spectrum going, that was an arm-in variation of a standard suplex used first by Antonio Rocca, I think, in 1970.
Yes.
Like Michael Cole is calling every move wrong every 15 seconds. He called a 450 a shooting star. He called, I think, a German suplex something else.
He finally did it. He's finally the new JR.
100%. He didn't know what any move was. He constantly calling stuff wrong throughout these shows, which annoyed me because I'm like, no, that's not a shooting star, you idiot. McAfee was super annoying. I actually didn't mind McAfee when he first came on the scene because I liked his enthusiasm, but you know, he's a very grating personality. I feel like that's only got more and more in your face as time has gone on. So I don't care for him much either. And Wade Barrett on commentary, I thought was not great either. Never thought the day would come where I would have been, calling out for please give us a Corey Graves or something. Like, I just need someone to take the energy down a little bit. I mean, that's the thing with Michael Cole on the other side is, with him being unleashed, quote unquote, he's now on top of the table doing the yeet, but also on commentary, he's also that a little bit. He's screaming and he's over the top. And I know I don't want to come off as a hypocrite here because I've said in AEW in the past, when something happens, we could use a little bit more energy. Because, the Shivani and Excalibur at times can be a little too, oh my word, what has happened here? Yeah. Son of a bitch. We need a little bit of that. But like, this was like 4 hours of it. So I was a little bit tired of it by the end. But that was night one. I mean, for the most part, a very middle of the road show. Nothing horrible, I would say, but stuff you would see on TV, and then a very good main event.
We will segue over to night two, where I heard great things about the opener, where Io Sky retained over Bianca and Rhea.
Yeah, night two was the opposite of night one in that it started with 3 really great matches and then went off a cliff. The three-way with Rhea, Io, and Bianca was my match of WrestleMania. It was the best match of the weekend. Bianca Belair, for as much shit as she gets, and part of that is kind of self-inflicted with the character. I feel like she's not been particularly well handled as a character last year, but like in ring, she's like excellent, and Rhea as well. I mean, when I was watching the two of them, it was like watching the best of Statlander and so on and so forth. I thought these two, I don't get for a second that they're thinking about what they're doing. I don't get for a second that they're not laying it in. I mean, I mean this as a compliment. I feel like I was just watching a men's match. I think, look, I don't want to undermine Io's role in the match, but I was just particularly impressed by Bianca and Rhea. Really, really excellent. Finish was very clever, although they then did the exact same finish in like the 4-way match. Which, do these agents not talk to each other? Finish was Bianca hit the KOD on Rhea, and Io came off with a moonsault kind of onto the pin and pinned Bianca. Really excellent stuff. Really, really great. For me, better than the 3-way on night one. Okay, that's probably not a take you'll see from many people. But I thought it was really, really top stuff.
From there, we went to Drew McIntyre beating Damian Priest in a match.
In a very fun
the new
street fight. Yes, so there was a little Doom gimmick on the ramp when he was making his entrance. Little Doom man helmet.
He didn't use the chainsaw shield, I guess.
No, there was no Mars Demons run-ins at any point. And then Damian Priest for his entrance had like Kerry King from Slayer playing the guitar over his theme song, but like the guitar tone sounded like a fart, which is very strange. But no, they had a fun street fight. There was no blood or anything, but it was I think an elevated version of the typical WWE hardcore match that you get. It did feel like, I guess because Drew is in it, and Drew has really kind of come on leaps and bounds the last 2 years, maybe. Again, it felt like something special that you wouldn't just get on your typical TV. And Drew won with a Claymore into a chair, which was a cool spot. He pushed Damien off the top rope through 2 tables on the outside in a kind of a Darby Allin style coffin drop bump, which was cool. Yeah, it was good.
From there, we got an interesting result here. Dominic Mysterio defeating Braun Breaker, Finn Balor, and Penta to win the Intercontinental title.
Yeah, so they did the same finish as in the women's match, where there was a pin on someone, I forget who, and Dominic came off the top with the frog splash and interrupted it and got a pin. So they did the exact same finish for 2 matches within the first 3 matches of the show. This is also very good. Trying to think if there's anything special in the entrances here. Maybe I can't think of anything. Balor and Dominic both came out in masks. Dominic couldn't get his mask off. It took an extra second. No, this match was also very good.
By the way, listeners, I'm just reading these match results off on Wikipedia, right? So if you want a bit more of a fully formed kind of experience of what the show seemingly was like. The beginning of night one, Triple H came out to get the first pop. Then 2 matches in, Triple H came out to induct himself into the Hall of Fame. Then Triple H came out to introduce the new Triple H World Championship.
But then night 2, Stephanie McMahon came out to open. Can we get rid of Stephanie McMahon? I do not want to see Stephanie McMahon ever again.
I couldn't fucking believe when, first of all, I heard his speech went an hour. I think the Hall of Fame, if you watch the Hall of Fame, I mean, like, how does anyone give a fuck?
You're a fucking mark if you're
Triple H talking for an hour. And this whole routine, Cody must have started this as a bit, this whole Triple H, they're basically trying to continue the Vince doesn't want to be mentioned thing in the Triple H era. But I mean, it's the most farcical lie in this entire 100-year history of the lying business, that Triple H doesn't like attention. He goes for an hour at the Hall of Fame after alleging he didn't want to go in. He opens the fucking show. Then he comes out for, the yearly, here are the Hall of Fame. That's just like, oh my God, fuck off. And I tell you what, I don't know if I've talked about this on the show. I fucking hate the selfies with the new champions thing he does. It makes them all, it doesn't matter if you're a big, bad, scary Jacob Fatu or anyone else like that. They come off so little brother, getting the little selfie with the fucking the boss / the champion from 20 years ago. Oh, I'm so fucking sick of having to see this guy and fucking hear about him. And I am absolutely pedal to the metal on the theory that they only started inducting matches so that he could lord over Austin and Brett, which I think Brett knew. I think
Brett's reaction after you shook his hand.
Brett absolutely was like, this fucking guy. This is the one and only time you'll be higher than us on a ranking, pal. I'll tell you that much. Unless it's unless we're ranking, I don't know, auto homicides on a broadcast. Anyway. Let me see here. So then we got this the thriving TNA WWE relationship, right? Orton comes out.
Mystery opponent.
For his mystery opponent segment. It's supposed to be Owens. Owens is legitimately hurt. We talked about it last week, neck issues. So who comes out? It's Joe Hendry, right? Who is the total non-stop action champion of the world. Okay. And everyone goes, duh, 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 and they all cheer like it's Joe Hendry. Like, fair enough, right? It's cute.
Half of them cheer.
Well, I was about to say, yeah, it was not as over as it was in the Royal Rumble. So he comes out, and there's been a lot of reporting lately, obviously, based on the change in management at TNA. And, a lot of questionable decisions being made. And, some people questioned how wise it was to put the title on him and then put him in the Royal Rumble where he was just a body. I mean, he was like a sub Intercontinental title challenger level guy in that Rumble, right? There was a story that apparently a now gone executive from TNA objected to the idea of Hendry coming in and losing a feud to The Miz on Raw, because he's like, that's fucking ridiculous, the whole exposure thing. Oh well, it'll be exposure for the TNA World Champions to come in and lose to a mid-carder for us. Again, Vince is gone, but all his students are still there, right? So they're all pitching the same shit he was doing for decades. But that guy who put his foot down on the Miz thing, he was ousted, and then sure enough, so Hendry comes out here. He gets his okay little pop. He has a 3-minute match with Randy Orton, an actual star with actual world titles under his belt. I mean, I'm not going to sell for your little pretend fucking Canadian indie brother. Beats him in 3 minutes. Then he does the fake endorsement, raising his hand and RKO's him again.
I mean, that's bad enough doing the endorsement. If it was a real one, it'd be like,
it'd be one thing, yeah. But even if he didn't argue, even if he did the shitty little raising his hand. First of all, this lad is 36. Okay, when Randy Orton was 36, he was like an 800-time champion in WWE already. So they're doing this kind of like, oh, this kid come in and gave me a really good 3 minutes, and then laid him out afterwards. I mean, this is the most you get what you get moment for TNA. Yeah. This is the one match on this show I watched.
Yeah, I think there's a kernel of truth to the exposure argument, but like Orton beat him like a drum. Like,
well, I'll disagree with you, because not only did he beat him like a drum, did they say the name of the upcoming pay-per-view?
I'm not sure they might have once said the name of the promotion.
Yeah, I think he came out with the belt, right? So he came out with the belt, and so the thing about the exposure thing is, like, I don't think they sold one Triller TV powered by Fight purchase of the next TNA show with this appearance. I don't think they sold one. I don't even think they sold one fucking YouTube subscription to their TNA YouTube channel with this.
No, you're probably right.
Yeah. So.
But he was made to look an absolute geek. I mean, he was not on equal footing with Orton at any.
And I think the funny thing is, doing that with Joe Hendry is fine. It was the insistence, because again, it was the insistence on putting the world title on him ahead of the Rumble. Because I guess because they knew they had all these plans in place for Hendry to be in the mix because of the meme and whatever. But like, you're having it. If Joe Hendry was just a guy from TNA, I don't think anyone would care that he got RKO'd in 3 minutes. And I mean, who cares? But it's just it's the doing that with your champion. It's like, honestly, you're just like, have some shame, have some fucking respect. Don't be so desperate to get on WrestleMania.
But then he is like a meme wrestler.
Yeah.
You know, so for him to be the world champion says something about, you know, TNA. And we did mention at the Royal Rumble that kind of the Joe Hendry craze feels like it kind of came and went.
Yeah.
You know, you're not at the peak of it now where, oh, he's on WrestleMania. Yeah, well.
Logan Paul defeated AJ. How was this?
It wasn't great. I don't know if AJ is slowed down sufficiently that you know, Logan can have a good match with people, but I don't know. There was a disconnect here where I never really got on with it. I'll say Logan hits a hell of a frog splash. I'll give him that.
He's got all the physical tools for sure.
But I know he beat AJ clean. That's not something that I would have necessarily done. But yeah, it was okay.
It's pretty muted reaction for what I think people would have anticipated as one of the better bell-to-bell matches of the weekend.
Right.
Lyra, Valkyria, and Becky Lynch defeated Liv and Raquel to win those women's tag team championships. It's supposed to be Lyra and Bayley. Seems like they just took Bayley out. She got a kayfabe storyline injury. No, it doesn't seem like there's any legitimacy to it. Becky did her comeback and got the big pop, and there you go.
Weird way to do it. I mean, presumably they knew that this was the end goal.
Yeah.
Why do the Bayley thing at all? It felt like, you know, the China main eventing SummerSlam 99 thing, where it's like, why even say Bayley's going to be at any point? Like, I don't know. Very weird. The match itself was like nothing.
TV match. Yeah.
Oh, TV match. I'm so weird. There's actually some moments where they were kind of a little off sync with each other, teams. You know, Becky got a big pop. Becky's back.
Yeah, kind of like the Charlotte thing. I mean, people haven't rejected Becky the way they have rejected Charlotte over the years, but I mean, I wonder, are people going to be kind of like, you know, are people Becky down? She's also been away for a while, so maybe not.
No, I don't think it's anything like the Charlotte situation. I mean, it might be that, I don't want to compare it to Joe Hendry of all people, but it might be that the kind of the man Becky Lynch, that period also kind of came and went, you know?
Mm-hmm.
You're just trying to give Lyra the rub. Obviously, I would like to see Lyra show a bit more personality. She's also a very good in ring, but is a little bland.
Mm-hmm.
Although she had big funny wings when she came out here.
Well, she's a Valkyrie.
Yeah, she looks like a big bird. I don't know, a bit weird.
Was this where Steve Austin came out and ran Lady over?
Yeah. Who did the announcement on the first night of the attendance? I forget. Was it?
I didn't watch me, so you're asking the wrong person. But I thought
it was Shawn Michaels. It was Shawn Michaels.
Oh, really? Oh God, they have to get the entire whole circle.
The same three people every time. So Steve Austin came out, and I don't know this for a fact. So litigators, I'm not saying that this is a fact. This is merely my opinion and supposing. But I'm totally open to being told that this was not the case, and I would be very open to retracting the following statement. But WrestleMania is a big party. It's a big event that a lot of people attend, and I wouldn't be surprised if Mr. Austin had imbibed maybe a Budweiser or two, or I don't know, 8 or 18. So he hopped on his four-wheeler and promptly crashed it into the ring barricade. I will say, when he came out on that thing, I immediately thought he's driving that very fast. Like dangerously fast. So he crashed into the barricade, sent a woman tumbling to the floor. Nick Khan was over there like Charles Robinson running down the ramp at WrestleMania a few years ago.
I only saw that like after watching the initial. First of all, this woman, right? So he crashes into the barricade, he knocks her down, and when she gets up, and he didn't look impressed with this at all. Sorry to offend you, Steve, but like she wasn't doing the whole "oh my god, I'm so embarrassed," but "oh my god, she wasn't doing the old "oh ow, oh no, it's fine." She like he obviously said sorry or something, and there's like you can just see her. She's kind of going like yeah. You did, yeah, sorry, exactly, yeah, you just fucking knocked me down. He just turns and fucking tucks tail to go to the announcement. Then he gets back out of the ring to double check at the end of the segment, and who's there but old Nick? I mean, this guy, or it's just the slate is too deep to talk about it, but obviously WWE had their very questionable media week in the run-up to Mania, including Nick, the smooth operator going on the Bill Simmons podcast, doing his usual thing. He loves big brothering Tony. He always talks about him so dismissively, blah, blah, blah. He's a guy who loves to play it cool and loves to be perceived as the top dog. I mean, he is the top dog. He's a deal maker. He's the man in the industry, to be fair. But I was seeing him fucking out of his seat, racing over to this one. I mean, that's probably the most he has sweated in quite a number of years, I would say, because like fucking millions of people have seen this. You have a fucking wrestler just crash an ATV into the crowd. I mean, if this was, thank God, they're lucky they have these big, thick LED monstrosities, and it wasn't like a 1998 steel barricade thing because he would have crushed it with the fucking ATV, and he would have really hurt someone.
I wouldn't be surprised if Steve Austin's appearance fee didn't actually find its way into Steve Austin's bank account.
No.
It went to this lady instead. What a fucking idiot. What an idiot.
And they said on Observer Radio, I mean, stating the obvious, but just like WWE is very concerned about this situation because they're effectively at this lady's mercy. I mean, everyone was making the joke about she's probably going to get Mania tickets for life. Like, well, if she wants like a load of money to do something that's actually fun, she can just sue them instead of going back to this. Then we got John Cena becoming the 17-time world champion by defeating Cody Rhodes. How was this?
It was bad.
Why was it bad?
Well, John Cena is approaching like Kevin Nash levels of immobility.
Yeah,
let's say. He is severely slowed down. Now, there's more to it than just John Cena not really being capable anymore. The other thing is that in doing the turn at Elimination Chamber, this excellent, amazing initial segment, in doing it that way, WWE set certain expectations. One of them, which seemed to be pretty universal, was that The Rock would continue to be involved in the storyline somehow. I mean, you think back to Elimination Chamber, the image that you were left with was The Rock, Cena, and Travis Scott standing tall. And so you might be led to believe that we should expect a Rock appearance at WrestleMania. Now, while they never advertised that or outright said that there would be a Rock appearance, that's kind of been the cloud hanging over this ever since Elimination Chamber, was that The Rock was involved. So at WrestleMania, maybe we'll get a Rock appearance. If they knew that The Rock wasn't going to be involved, then don't do the Rock storyline in the first place. Or do a Rock vlog. He loves doing those, where he says, hey guys, I'm feeling the mana WrestleMania weekend. Sorry I can't be there, but Cena, I've spoken to John Cena. He's the final boss tonight. He's standing in for me. Something to allay expectations that The Rock wasn't going to be there.
But also, wrestling brain means people would watch that and go, that means he's definitely going to be there. There's literally nothing you can do to tell these people that he won't be there. Also, Paul, can you redo that Rock impression, and I'll be the jet in the background of.
Hey, it's The Rock here. So look, The Rock wasn't there. The Rock was not there. So it does feel very strange that you culminate this Cody Rock storyline, which started with the whole turn, the join the Rock, give the Rock your soul, not Cena looking at the Rock slicing the throat, and then you do the match and the Rock's not involved. Like, to me, you have to not have the Rock involved in the first place for this to not have people disappointed that the Rock wasn't there in the end. So the match was not great. Before any of the shenanigans started, the match itself was not great. Cena has still like the worst punches going. The STF, one of the all-time worst-looking submission holds. Like he had on Cody, there was no pressure on Cody Rhodes' entire like upper body using that submission. And then the ref gets bumped, and Travis Scott's music plays. And he comes out with a modern hardcore belt. So he's coming out. And also, Travis Scott coming out, when was the last time he was around, was in that segment with The Rock. So yeah,
he's been around even less.
You're reminding people, The Rock's probably going to be out then. Because also you've set the precedent last year that WrestleMania main events have 900 run-ins.
Who's Travis Scott?
Travis Scott, Joe, is a very, 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 very famous rapper.
Well, it can't be that famous, Paul. I've just told you on the man.
Well, you would probably recognize some of his music if you heard it.
Let me look him up.
He had one of the pioneering Fortnite concerts. Okay, and I think most people have surmised his involvement might stem from him being a fan, but B, old Dwayne just being like, celebrity friend wants to be involved.
I looked up Travis Scott on Spotify. He is the 21st most listened to person in the world.
Wow.
So,
now,
I mean, if you're not in the top 10, I mean, I don't know, anyone can get in the top 4.
Well, I tell you, I looked up the Beatles earlier. 134th.
I mean, they've all been dead for 30 years, so...
And who's listening to the Beatles on Spotify, you know?
Yeah, you got to get that shit on vinyl, mate, if you want to listen to proper music. Yeah, vinyl.
Just on your earlier point as well, Paul, about, maybe, why involve The Rock in this whole story at all? I mean, you do that when he calls you up and say, I'd like to be involved, please. You've already got plans, is it? I'd like to be involved. I would like to be involved. No, not involved in WrestleMania. I've got stuff to do. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, he's probably filming the worst film you've ever seen in your life for $600 million right now. But I find it hard to believe that he couldn't get there.
This felt like a puzzle that was missing a very, very large central piece. You know what I mean? So Travis Scott came out. He went for the slap on Cody. Cody blocked to hit him with the crossroads, which he took pretty well, to be fair. But then they did Cena came in with the belt and went to hit Cody, and Cody took the belt off him. And then Cena said, "Come on, then hit me with the belt." And Cody went, "Oh, but I'm good though. Oh, am I? Oh, wait a minute. And then he couldn't hit him with the belt. And then Cena just hit him with the belt and beat him. And so he was like, "Oh, Cody, you idiot. That's your fault a bit that you lost." So yeah, they couldn't get through a WrestleMania main event without doing some melodramatic am I truly evil or not nonsense. And so Cena won 17th world title. And Cena got a hair transplant. Did you guys hear about that? I don't have eyes. Well, it hasn't taken just yet, but he has got the old transplant ski.
Ready in any day now.
Yeah.
That's why he turned heel. He got that snake hair transplant.
So that was it. I mean, we went off the air with Cena winning the belt, and the ring announcers weren't going, "Cena, you son of a bitch, you've stolen the title." They were going, "Well, I guess he is the GOAT."
They're back to doing this Roman thing where that they were doing for all of his run as well, where he's like this devious bastard, but because their fans love him so much, they have to go, "But you have to talk about how classy he is." Oh, that annoyed me so much.
The problem was that Cena had just had this 2-star WrestleMania main event with Cody Rhodes. God love Cody. He did try.
Hey, listen, Cody always tries. I mean, we'd always give him.
Oh, hang on. I forgot a very important bit. Cody came out with the big plastic mask.
Why are they all coming out in masks?
I don't know. He came out with the big plastic mask. You know that you've probably seen the last couple of years, right? The big plastic mask.
It looks like his logo, right?
Yes. Sorry, the mask is of his logo. Yeah.
And then the front opened up like an Iron Man mask, and I went, "Oh, you nerd! What a nerd!"
I hope Cena beats.
Yeah, I don't know.
So that was WrestleMania. I mean, for the most part, it was not great. Night one, like I said, felt like I was watching SmackDown until the main event, which was very good. Night two opened up with 3 very good matches, and then the last 4 matches were various degrees of not good. And unlike the last couple of years, there wasn't a big takeaway like image, or I felt like the Cena winning was kind of, not that it was downplayed, but it didn't feel as important as maybe they wanted it to. And the match wasn't very good, so oh well.
So there you go. Mania for another year. We did slap in the middle of proceedings get the news that WWE purchased AAA Lucha Libre.
Yes,
the second biggest lucha company in Mexico. There have been rumblings about them looking to sell for on and off for years at this stage. And WWE only to expand that portfolio. They purchased them. And I mean, that's kind of all we know right now. No monetary figures have been disclosed. I mean, there's obviously people's mind immediately goes to just turning it into NXT Mexico, which maybe they will, maybe they won't. But I mean, this is one of those markets that I think they've never truly gotten in and dominated. They just like Europe, they do like they're probably there less than Europe. They do like one house show loop a year in Mexico basically. But now obviously with the AAA purchase, they own all the relevant contracts and media deals and stuff like that. So I don't know. It's pretty. I mean, if you're ever concerned about the monopolization of wrestling, I mean that's a big one. That is a big one. That's one of the bigger companies in the world.
And we did have The Rock wearing the New Japan shirts just in the week as well. So
which was interesting. Yeah.
It's. I mean, look, WWE has definitely increased its on-screen Latino
representation
for sure. Is smart. It's interesting that they would buy AAA because AAA for the last 20 years, or maybe since its inception, has always kind of portrayed itself as a non-standard Lucha Libre promotion.
But then somewhat American influence, somewhat WWE.
Oh, very attitude area, so I'd say. So strange to see WWE in some of the interviews they've done talking about how they don't want to overstep and they want to maintain the traditional Lucha Libre, qualities. And it's like, well, AAA has never really been that per se.
No.
But look,
whatever. I was shocked by it, but then when you look into the state of AAA, it's not like they've just bought WCW. You know what I mean? They don't have anyone. They don't have a huge roster under contract. They don't have CMLL has been dominant for a while.
And there was a good write up as well by on the Cubsfan.com. They've been cost cutting in the run up to this, just dealing with various issues. So they have a lot of people on handshake deals and per appearance deals. So there's not actually a lot of necessary talent you're explicitly getting necessarily from this. But one to watch. I mean, and it's just another. It's going to be a rung in the ladder towards a global expansion. Almost certainly is the goal there.
Yeah, is Del Rio still there? Mega champion?
He's their champion, and there's also whispers he's booking as well, which is very funny.
Jesus.
So I mean, didn't pop him out there next to Michael Cole for the big reveal? I noticed. Didn't have him there smiling next to Vikingo.
They did have Stephanie Vaquer there, which was interesting.
Yeah, that was shitty. That was
that was a big pile of shit. Yeah,
that was bad. But there you go.
I think. I do admire WWE for this because I think it's the smart move, but immediately they announce, the when worlds collide. But it's always it's AAA versus
NXT.
It's not AAA versus WWE, which is exactly what they do with TNA. They don't put it on the same level as WWE. They put it on the same level as NXT, our little, offshoot developmental thing, which is, I think, exactly where AEW went wrong when Tony bought Ring of Honor. They immediately, to me, put Ring of Honor too close to AEW as if they were comparable. Whereas WWE would have been like, AEW Dark versus Ring of Honor, or whatever. But it's kind of funny, but from a branding perspective, like, that is the right decision. And interesting one. So I look forward to Ethan Page versus Alberto Del Rio lighting up when worlds collide.
Yeah, that'd be great. Sticking with Mexico news, we did get the announcement of Grand Slam Mexico from Arena.
Slam. So what came first? WWE buying AAA and AEW announcing this? Because I did think the fact that they're calling it Grand Slam was interesting, because they haven't done 2 Grand Slams in a year before. Obviously, maybe they're making it into more of just a touring name.
Yeah. Right.
But I was kind of like, did they rush this out when they found out that WWE...
No, I think Grand Slam came out first.
In terms of announcement, but I mean...
Oh, right. Like, maybe.
Did AEW kind of... Or maybe CMLL were like, right, we need to counter this. Can you do a joint show sort of thing?
Because I mean, the thing about WWE buying AAA as well, I mean, not to frame everything, but actually I was about to say not to frame everything as WWE versus AEW, but I absolutely think that was a factor. You can, that AAA, if they do continue to operate as a somewhat independent company with WWE's money, they can now, first of all, no more of this handshake deals. They can throw money at everyone, which can put pressure on CMLL, who are AEW's business partner or promotional partner. It's all connected. And AEW has had, I think, so far a very fruitful, positive relationship with CMLL.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's all connected. But so this is taking place in June, and on the poster you have Kenny and Ospreay and Mystico. So you'd have to imagine you'd be talking probably Mystico, and one of those boys would be your big match. Not doing any kind of Forbidden Door kind of branding on it, not doing any kind of CMLL verse. So I think I feel like they'll probably just do an episode of Dynamite, a TV show with some luchadors on it. They'll have your Mysticos et al. On there, but
Juventud, bring him back. What other luchadors can they bring in? El Dandy, is he?
Is he still kicking around? I don't know. What was Danielson's? Danielson did a fucking stupid like AEW Dark lucha gimmick. I can't remember.
Mascarita Dorada.
They can. I think this is interesting. Arena Mexico is such a cool venue. It's gonna be one of those Dynamites that's gonna look really different and cool, and it'll be fun. I think this is gonna be fun. So they also finally Forbidden Door. Finally, my goodness.
Finally,
it will be taking place in the O2 in London.
Hell yeah.
And they are also going to be similar to the last Wembley thing. They're doing Dynamite in the UK, but they are not doing it in London where they are doing Forbidden Door. They are doing it in the Hydro in Glasgow. So they're going to another part of the UK to, I guess, I don't know, tick things off, say they did that Scotland, or maybe they don't have the, because like a lot of people, I was like, why don't they just do like a big week in the UK and maybe, or in London rather, but maybe they're just kind of like, maybe not necessarily the London market will facilitate. I would disagree with that. I would think it would, considering the O2 is not like, this is not Wembley. They're going to like, Raw and SmackDown sized buildings for these shows. They're not going to stay. I think they could just do the O2 like for a Wednesday and a Saturday. Forbidden Door. What'd you boys make of these announcements? Excited?
Oh yeah, very excited. Well, we all expected the O2 anyway, but excited to have it confirmed. Down the road from me. Scotland is interesting. I don't know. I think that could do well. Maybe people who can't. A bit sort of reluctant to travel, up north or in Scotland might go to that. So I think that'd be a fun show, certainly. Anyway, and the Hydro's like big, an O2 sized kind of building as well. So that'd be interesting to see how well they sell that out. I think it was anything over like 5,000. That's going to be probably good crowd.
Forbidden Door is interesting this year in that all the New Japan talent are dropping like flies. Who will be left come Forbidden Door?
I was about to say, I forgot we're fucking talking about the UK. Tanahashi just had his last US match, but of course, I suppose they could build it at his last
European
appearance. Or European. Yeah, so Naito won't be there. We didn't even put this in the Naito and Bushi are gone from New Japan.
Cobb is going.
Cobb is going, and he's getting into Twitter beef with his stablemates about it. Very odd, very weird situation, the whole Cobb thing. I mean, it was already, because when they announced Forbidden Door was coming, I was like, that's cool, but like, I mean, Forbidden Door as a concept, it feels like it's you get excited by the announcement, but then you're like, man, the interest level in New Japan is so dwindling. So they're going to be doing like, you know, AEW guys versus like, you know, the newer.
I mean, last year's Forbidden Door was main evented by an AEW versus AEW, so they might do the same.
Yeah.
They could do Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling Invasion and have Takeshita and Josh Alexander invade AEW.
So I'm curious what form that will take, given the state of things. And that was a very busy, very newsworthy week there. It was the Fantasy League newsworthy poll. That's what the people want to know.
Fantasy League is very newsworthy this week because we have a new leader in the Fantasy League.
Ooh.
And it's Big Barry.
Adrenaline in my soul.
He's got a team of active, uninjured wrestlers. Whereas I highlighted on the form wrestlers who are inactive currently for one reason or another. Joe, you have one, which is Big Orange. We're still waiting to hear news on what might be his status. I've got 5.
Wow.
Which out of 10 is not great.
Not ideal.
Mariah May, who I think after we spoke last week, the news came out is that she's probably gone to WWE.
Yes. Did you see, by the way, all the screen cap circulating of like her like tweets from like 4 years, not even that long.
But I knew that she was WWE.
For anyone who doesn't know, they're not horrible. It's just she is just the most I have to be in WWE person ever. Like there is just, I think we talked about this a couple of weeks. There's a generation of people who who don't know that she's in her early 20s. She has only known this, you know. So there was a report that she is basically locked in 100%. She's looking for early release now. Seems to be the last.
Yeah, so I might need to be looking for early release from her in my fantasy game, which I might do in the next minute as we speak. Cope storyline injury, of course, but he is out of action as we speak. He's not on TV earning me points. Hook, very weird situation with Hook. We talked about last week that he was sick in the ring. I believe there was talk that he was not concussed. But I mean, he was throwing up in the ring, and they did do the angle where he got neutralized onto the chair. But then on Dynamite this week, they were like, "Oh, he was this thing that they do, which I fucking hate. He was attacked earlier by the Death Riders. We have no footage of it or anything, but
no footage.
Also, Taz has gone to the hospital with him, and so." You know, we had 2 people replaced in that match, ultimately, which is very strange. But Hook, also, now a question mark. I do feel like I was fucking robbed out of 10 belt points there, by the way.
That is shitty.
Whatever that fucking situation is. Jay White, broken hand. I do feel like he'll probably be back sooner. And then Pac injured fucking last week as well with the leg. So I'm going to need to... I feel like with these 5, Cope, as we said... I feel like Cope will be back within about a month. I'd say he might return like Dynamite after Double or Nothing or something like that. Which also sucks because the pay-per-views are so important to this fantasy league. Hook, don't know what the fucking story is with him, but like Powerhouse Hobbs is now the champion, so Hook just won't be. I don't know what's the story with Hook. Jay White might be back sooner than later. Pac, we don't know. Pac was apparently getting an MRI, but it did not look good. We know how serious like ankle injuries can be. So anyway, Barry had a great week, 30 points. 16 for me. Joe had a very bad week, I'm sorry to say, with Claudio. Claudio losing the trios titles. Moxley, as we discussed, got a 0 rather than a -5. And Barry had Ospreay and, of course, Takeshita on my team, picking up a 6 for the first 5.5-star match of the year, which we'll talk about shortly as well. So do I do a transfer now? I feel like I have to, right? Five people gone is bad. I think I'm going to have to. Let me have a look here. Sorry that I didn't come prepared, folks, for this. I really should have. We're going to have a look at the non-drafted wrestlers pool. I already have in my head 2 or 3, and I just need to verify what I'm going to do here. So this will be my second transfer of the season. I'm calling it now officially.
Okay.
I will be taking out Mariah May.
Mm-hmm.
And I will be putting in... I've got a few, though. 1, 2... I'm looking at a pool of 3 people. Which one has the most likelihood for point getting? I will go for... Fuck. I'm trying to see. There's the collision element to consider as well, where people who just have loads of fucking collision matches. I'll tell you. I'll go with my heart over my head. I'll take Mariah May out, and I'll put in Speedball.
Okay, I think that's good.
Speedball. Like
babies. Speedball baby for Mariah May. There you go. Done.
It's official. It's locked in.
It's official. But otherwise, that's it. I mean, like I said, Barry's team: Ospreay, Fletcher, Omega, Willow, Hangman, Ricochet, Statlander, Shelton, Brody, Cole. Not as so much as a sore toe in the bunch, whereas Joe and myself have been pulverized with these issues lately. Okay,
alrighty.
Thanks, we're locked in.
Do we have a quiz?
Quiz time. So I've got a brand new quiz format. Not stolen it from any TV shows or anything.
Excellent.
It's just the original format. It's called Gimme 5. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a category, and you have to give me 5 things within that particular category.
Yeah.
So the first edition is WrestleMania themed.
Okay.
So an example would be if I said, give me entrance in the gimmick battle royal at WrestleMania 17. Okay, you would then have to give me 5 people that were in that battle royal.
Mm-hmm.
You get 1 point for each correct answer, and if you do get 5 correct answers, you also get a bonus 5 points.
Wow. Okay.
However, your opponent then also has to name 5 things in that category, and obviously they can't repeat any of the 5 that you have already given.
Okay.
So that's the rub. But they do get 2 points for every correct answer. So basically how it works is,
I got it.
for the first 5, you can score 10 points. For the second 5, you can score up to 15 if you get 5 correct answers. You get 2 goes each, rotating as to who goes first, so it's equal.
Okay. Yeah.
And then the finale, whoever is losing after 4 rounds gets to choose in the 5th and final round whether they go first
or second.
Oh,
I like it.
So you can either pick the easier questions, or you can go for the higher points, depending on whether you're a long way behind. Okay. So let's do the coin toss to see who's going to go first in the first round. So I have a 50 pence coin here. On one side we have Queen Elizabeth II. On the other side we have Paddington Bear in front of the Tower of London.
Okay, I'll take Paddington, please.
Okay, so Paul there going for British royalty, Paddington. Yeah. Let's give it the old toss, sweet. And we have it's the Queen.
Bloody good it is.
So let's so Barry, you choose. Do you want to go first or second on the first?
I'll go first.
You can pause now, go get your pen and paper and play along.
You can play along at home. Let's see if I can keep score as well as answering the questions as well.
Crack open a new egg while you're at it. Go on.
Okay, so category number 1 1990s WrestleMania main events.
Okay.
So you have to give me 5, Barry, with a point for each, and a bonus 5 if you can give me 5 correct answers.
Okay.
I should also say, if you get one wrong, you carry on, but you just won't get the bonus. So.
Okay. Okay, I will go Rock Austin from 99.
Rock versus Austin for 99. That is correct.
I will go Austin Michaels.
Austin Michaels. Which year?
98.
Okay, I don't need the year, but I thought I was.
I will go Michaels versus Hart, the Iron Man match.
Okay.
I will go Brett versus Yokozuna.
Okay. Actually, can you tell me the year?
The WrestleMania 10.
Okay, correct.
I will go Yoko. I guess technically Yoko versus Hulk Hogan.
Yes, I will accept that. I'm accepting last match on the show.
So I think
that one's a bit of an outlier, but yeah, it's fine.
That's
5.
That's
That's
5
5 for Barry. So that is 10 big ones off the bat. So over to you, Paul. Can you name 5 more?
So what's the category? Say it again. Just
1990s
90s.
WrestleMania
Okay.
main event.
See, part of it is, well, I won't get penalized if I say one that Barry said already. Well, can you just say me, give me a family fortune style, bump, give me another one.
Yes, I will. If you're not sure, if you've already had it, we could say.
Okay, so Barry started in 99 and worked backwards. He got 99, 98. 97, which was 13, was Sid Undertaker.
Correct.
96 was the Iron Man. He said that one. This is where reading all these old power slams is coming in. Look, 96 was the Iron Man. 95 was Bigelow Lawrence Taylor.
That is correct. 2 points.
He said 94. He said 93. So what was 91, 1992? So that would have been WrestleMania.
You can get 90 as well, I believe, unless joking correctly.
Yeah.
Oh, 90 as well. Okay,
90 to 99. Anything that was in the...
Right. Let me work my way through the years here. So WrestleMania 1 was the tag match. 2 was the multi-show. So Hogan Bundy. 3 would have been 87. 4, 88. So WrestleMania 6 would have been 1990. 6 was Hogan Warrior.
Yep, correct.
And so I'm thinking, I'm looking for 7 or 8. Slaughter Hogan.
Slaughter Hogan, correct. So did you say...
Is that 5?
Did I miss one in there? I think you said 4.
I had Psycho Sid,
You've got,
Undertaker.
Yeah.
Bigelow Lawrence.
Yep. Hogan Warrior. Slaughter Hogan.
Oh,
7.
okay, so I still need one more. Oh, yeah, because in the 90s there would be 10. So
there would be 10, yeah.
So I need to get the other one.
By process of elimination. There's one left.
Let me think. 92. Well, Flair won the Rumble that year. Of course, Hogan's Sid.
Hogan versus Sid at WrestleMania 8. That's correct. So 10 points for both of you in the first round. Very good.
Oh.
So now, Paul, you get to... 15, I should say, for Paul, because you got the
harder ones, yeah.
So now we flip it around. Paul, you're going first.
Yes.
Next category. And this next category is Royal Rumble winner losers. So people who won a title shot of the Royal Rumble and then failed to win the title at WrestleMania. This is male or female, by the way.
Okay, so when you say failed to win, I'm guessing you don't necessarily mean lost the match. They just didn't win the match.
Yeah, they didn't come away with a title, basically. Okay. Essentially.
Okay, so 5 Royal Rumble winners who did not then win the main event at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I will go for Vince McMahon.
Vince McMahon.
See, that's why I was clarifying.
Hang on a minute.
Initially,
I think that should count.
Yeah.
If you don't accept it, it's fine. But I was thinking he won the Royal Rumble. He did then not come away with
You're right. I forgot about that. I kind of meant people that
lost the match.
People that did take the match and then lost, because it was a WrestleMania theme. So
I think that's clarified, but I think you should give him the point anyway for that one.
Nah.
Okay. The Rock.
When?
In 2000.
Okay. Yeah, I do need the... Okay, 1 point.
Okay. There's so many technicalities, though, because then, I mean, you could argue some of the Royal Rumbles were not further. Okay, so we're looking for people specifically who went to WrestleMania and did not
It's people
win the
who...
match.
Forget the Royal Rumble thing. It's people who had a title shot from the Royal Rumble at WrestleMania and
lost the match at WrestleMania.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Who else? Let me think. The Rock 2000, we said. I'm going through them in my head. So we had Rock, Austin, Triple H, Lesnar, Benoit, Batista. Well, we go Cody Rhodes recently.
Okay, so Cody Rhodes.
2023.
2023. WrestleMania 39. That's correct.
Yes, 39, please. We will say... Okay, I don't know what year it was, but Shinsuke Nakamura.
Shinsuke Nakamura.
In the late 2010s. I don't know what year. Probably like 2017, 18, 19, somewhere there.
That's correct. 2018.
Yeah, okay. Was that 3?
Yeah.
Who else? These are all going to be in the CSP years as well, which is very annoying. Sheamus. Lose the match. Oh no, he won. Fuck. That's wrong.
So that's
wrong.
One wrong, but you obviously get one more.
Yeah, one more.
Guess.
Who else? Fuck now. I haven't even considered the women, by the way.
Oh, you big sexist.
I know that's terrible. Oscar.
From Men on a Mission or the Japanese?
The Japanese lady. Please. Okay. I don't remember Oscar from Men on a Mission ever in the Royal Rumble.
I don't think you did. I'll accept Oscar, yeah, but 2018 as well. Her and Nakamura both. So you pick up 4 points there, Paul. No bonus for you, unfortunately, but not bad effort. Fine. So over to you, Barry. Can you get 5 more? There's still quite a few that haven't been gone.
From 08, John Cena.
That is correct.
From 09, Randall Keith Orton.
That is also correct.
From 2010,
Adam Edge Copeland, correct.
From 2011, Alberto Del Rio.
He's flying here, folks. That's 4 in a row.
Let me see. Paul already said Shamo. Who the fuck? 2013 was Cena. Who the fuck was 2014? Was Batista.
I just had the moment of the Batista one, of course.
And Batista 2014, that is correct.
Yeah.
Barry nails all 5 and gets a big 15 points.
Seamus, you've fucked me there, Seamus.
He gets the 15. So that's currently now 25-19 in favour of Barry. You could also have, going right back, we had Lex Luger, of course, in 1994. Tied with Brett. Shawn Michaels, 95. Yeah. I think we said The Rock at 2000. We got all of those. Roman Reigns 2015 when Seth Rollins cashed in.
Oh yeah.
Win. We had Nakamura. Edge again in the 3-way with Bryan and Reigns. Brock Lesnar 2022 WrestleMania 38. Cody Rhodes at 2023. And then I don't know, Paul. You probably should have got this one because you talked about it about an hour ago. Charlotte Flair not winning.
Oh,
being
of course.
Oh, yeah. And the only other one was Ronda Rousey. Lost to Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania 38.
Okay.
So there we go. Number 3, category number 3. So Barry to go first this time.
Mm-hmm.
This is East Coast WrestleMania cities.
Oh, Jesus.
So cities on the East Coast of America that have hosted WrestleMania.
Okay.
By East Coast, I mean East Coast time zone. So.
Okay. That narrows it down for me. Wait, so you want the manias, right? Not the cities.
You could just give me the city, actually, if you want to give me the specific. Well, I guess we need both because there's been multiples.
Yeah,
I need city and
Okay, city and number or year. Okay, I could do that. I could do that.
Yeah.
Okay, WrestleMania 1 from New York, baby. New York, love the Mets.
Yeah.
Same town for WrestleMania 10.
Am I going to have to change my rules mid-flight here? Yes, I am. Well, I said WrestleMania cities. You've already done New York.
Oh,
but you said yourself that there were repeats. You clarified. That's why I'm giving you the year and the city.
Oh, go on then. Just read them. This probably would be too hard if I ruled that out. So
yeah. So
WrestleMania 10, you said.
Yeah, I said.
Go on.
And I'm also going to say WrestleMania 20 now that we've clarified that.
Fucking hell.
2013 New York and New Jersey / it's actually New Jersey, but they called it New York.
Well, no. Is that a city, Barry? New York?
New Jersey is a city, yes, and New York is also a city.
No, you find it wasn't.
No, New Jersey is a state.
New Jersey is a state.
Jersey City is a city.
No, it wasn't in Jersey City. Sorry.
Hang on. Just to be clear, I know where the fucking show happened, and I've told you where it happened, and you're saying no, that's not correct.
Because it wasn't in Jersey City.
But what? Okay, hang on. Okay, it was in fucking East Rutherford.
We already said the wrong answer.
Oh, so I'm clarifying that I do know the town, and you're still saying no.
Why did you say New Jersey?
Because I didn't realize I had to go that specific.
It's a state.
East Rutherford, New Jersey. I'm telling you right now.
Well, Paul, what do you think? Shall I give it to him?
Don't worry, Barry. I'm not going to get any of these. So
okay. We'll give Barry his little point for East Rutherford.
That's right, because he's correct, is why.
Vince McMahon was correct. We'll leave it.
Okay, now I'm actually drawing a blank.
Make sure you give me the city as well, by the way. Just don't just say Florida.
And let me say WrestleMania 15, Philadelphia, PA.
Let me just check that's in the Eastern time.
Oh my God! You can get a train from New Jersey.
Well, you can get a train to Paris from here,
or East Rutherford, New Jersey.
You are time zone EST. Correct, Barry. There, he's done it again. Paul, he's doing this for us.
Okay, I'm going to do very poorly.
He's giving you hell.
I don't fucking
Philadelphia,
know.
WrestleMania 15. So that's big 10 for Barry.
Okay. WrestleMania 2, one of them was in New York, I think.
WrestleMania 2.
Which city in New York, just out of curiosity? New York's a state, so...
Do you mean the state or the city? The city. Need clarification.
Okay, moving on. We'll come back to that one. We'll circle
no, it is New York City. You're fine.
Well,
that's fine.
Well... Okay, I know WrestleMania 24 was in Orlando.
That's good.
Which is in the state of Florida. I probably have to say that, do I?
Orlando.
Orlando, Florida.
That's
then one of the other ones was in
points.
Orlando, one of the later ones. The Performance Center. That was in Orlando. 36 was also in Orlando.
36, also Orlando, correct?
And actually, night 1 and night 2 were both in Orlando, so that's 2.
No, that's one.
I'll have 2 points for that one.
That's one.
What was the one with the big bell? WrestleMania. I don't mean in the main event. I mean
that was last night.
WrestleMania 40 was also in Philly because they had the big bell on the logo.
Correct. Yes.
What's that? That's 3 or 2. How many have I answered?
You're
Philadelphia, 3. Orlando, and Orlando. Yeah, I've got 3. Okay. What else is on the fucking East Coast? Why did they never do shows out of like Connecticut?
Maybe they have.
Hang on, have they?
Well, I don't know.
They did. Which year was it? Because I was reading about it. When was it? Oh God, it must have been one of the. Well, it wasn't 10 because Barry answered it. Was it 11 or 12? Ooh, I'm not sure. No, it's been 11 because I'm only reading 96 now. So WrestleMania 11, Connecticut, Hartford.
That is correct.
I do not know where WrestleManias are from. I'm sorry to say, for the most part. I don't know.
No.
Let me just give me a second to see if anything jumps into my head here. WrestleMania 2000 was California, so that's no good. 17 was Texas. 18 was in Canada. 19 was like Seattle. 21 was California. It's all the wrong side of America. I don't know. After 21, it all becomes one big hodgepodge, I'm afraid. 25 was Texas.
Do you want to just do a stab in the dark if you didn't?
I mean, you'd have to get the year and the town right, but have it.
Yeah, great.
Well, pick obviously an East Coast city. That'll help.
Yeah.
Just guess a year.
What was the one I said earlier that was in WrestleMania 2 in New York? Joe saying it was not New York. So
no, I didn't say it wasn't New York. I said, what was the city?
Yeah.
New York's a state, but were you saying...
Yeah, but you can have,
I know New York, but just checking.
I'll say it was in, what's the place in New York? It was in, fucking... it was in that bit of it, you know, the one. Fucking... the North Bay. It was in the North Bay. It was in North Haverbrook. It was in North Wilmsboro.
Nick Khan, like, I was told WrestleMania is the Ogden Village. There ain't no Steve TV here, and there never was.
I don't know. I'm
Is that your final answer?
I don't know. North Wilmingboro.
No, that's actually incorrect, Paul. So, Paul finishes with 8 points there. I'll just quickly run through the list. So, WrestleMania 2, you could have had Uniondale, New York. That was actually in New York.
Oh, that was on the cusp of everyone's lips.
I don't know. Is Michigan on the East Coast? I don't think so. Let me just check. Oh, actually, it is. So Pontiac, Michigan, WrestleMania 3. Atlantic City, New Jersey, WrestleMania 4 and 5 at the Trump.
Oh, the Trump Plaza.
I don't know. Toronto, probably. I can't be bothered to look it up. Indianapolis, Indiana for WrestleMania 8.
Well, no, Toronto is in. You said East Coast of America, though, no?
No, I said East Coast cities.
Oh, I took it in America.
I mean, I don't know if there are any Canadian cities on the East Coast, to be fair.
Montreal is on the East Coast.
Toronto, yeah. What else we got? Boston, WrestleMania 14. You've got you got Detroit. We said, did we say Detroit? No, WrestleMania 23, Detroit. You've got Orlando, WrestleMania 24.
Yep.
You've got Miami 28. I think we said Rutherford. We did that. There's loads. East Rutherford, WrestleMania 35. Could have had that again. Tampa, Florida, Orlando, Florida, 36, 37, and yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah,
and next year we'll be in Indianapolis again. So that's
very good. Yeah, well done, Barry, on knowing 1, 10, and 20. They were the tough ones. You got them. Nice.
I mean, well, commiserations on not knowing any.
I don't. That's the problem.
Right, number 4. And Paul's going first this time. Okay, so hopefully he's got the advantage again. This is how the game works.
We're nailing it. We're nailing it.
Central time zone this time. Okay.
Okay. So I want
wrestlers' middle names.
The category is Bret Hart WrestleMania matches.
Okay.
Bret Hart WrestleMania matches. Give me 5 of them.
That should be all right. Vince McMahon.
Sorry, I need the event, of course.
Oh, I don't think you asked me the event. You said we had one match of Vince McMahon. That one.
All right.
Was that WrestleMania 2010?
Yeah, it's
2010. So, 2010 would have been...
Yeah,
it doesn't matter. We know what it is. 2026.
I'll give you that one.
Okay. Steve Austin, WrestleMania 13. I'll give you the WrestleMania on that one.
Yeah.
WrestleMania 12 is Shawn Michaels.
Yep.
WrestleMania 10, Yokozuna.
Correct.
So how many is that? One,
That's
two,
4. Just need one
that's
more.
4. And 9 was Yokozuna also.
That is correct. Well done. Big 10 points there with the bonus. So over to you, Barry. We need 5 more Bret Hart WrestleMania matches.
Also WrestleMania 10, Owen Hart.
Correct.
WrestleMania 8, Roddy Piper.
Correct.
I'm probably going to get this one wrong. 7, Mr. Perfect?
No, that's incorrect. It's actually... Fuck, who was it? He was in...
Well, don't tell him because you can guess again.
No, you can't. I've decided to make a new rule. You're not allowed to guess. No, you can.
Well, honestly, I haven't got a fucking clue. So let me say, the British Bulldogs.
WrestleMania 7, so I guess.
Are you asking me, or are you saying that's correct?
No, I'm asking. Is you're still going for?
No, that's not 7. That's not 7. Let me WrestleMania 4.
No, incorrect.
No, okay, I'm gonna pass the rest. I'm not gonna get any of these.
You're not getting any more. Okay. So you pick up 4 points there for the correct answers. I'll give you the others.
That was the opposite of the last one. That was very handy for me to get to go first.
Yes.
Well, that's it. That's the advantage.
That's the quiz, the game. That's the game.
That's the game. So WrestleMania 2, he was in the WWF NFL Battle Royal, won by Andre the Giant. WrestleMania 3, the Hart Foundation, which was Brett, Jim Hunt, Neidhart, and Danny Davis beat the British Bulldogs and Joe Santana. 88, which was the tournament one, he was in the Battle Royal, lost and then smashed up the trophy. 89, WrestleMania 5, Hart Foundation beat Greg Valentine and the Hard Tonk Man. 1990, WrestleMania 6, Hart Foundation beat the Bolsheviks in 19 seconds. WrestleMania 7, the Nasty Boys beat the Hart Foundation to win the tag titles. And then I think we had the rest. So he beat Roddy Piper, Yokozuna, Owen Hart. Oh no, Bob Backlund in 1995, WrestleMania 11. And then, we got the rest. Vince, Austin, and Shawn Michaels. Okay, so let's take a look at the scores on the door. So, Paul, you have 37 points. Barry, you have 39. So, Paul gets to pick. Do you want to go first?
I'll go first, please. Even though I get less points potentially.
Potentially less points, but you
much harder to go second is what I've learned. So I'll go first.
Okay, so let's see. The category is 2020's WrestleMania main events.
Okay.
And again, let's just to clarify, we need the match and the year or the number of the WrestleMania that it had.
Okay, so are we in true CM Punk fashion? Saturday counts.
I was about to clarify. This is CM Punk rules. So the first night is technically, you're wrestling Triple H.
Okay, let me
list with Triple H is the main event.
Let me list all the night twos, so or at least the obvious ones. I will take Cody Rhodes versus John Cena. WrestleMania 41 night 2.
41, yeah.
Roman Reigns, CM Punk, and Seth Rollins in the triple threat match. WrestleMania 41 night 1.
Yep.
WrestleMania 40 night 2. Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes.
Yep.
WrestleMania 40 night 1. Roman Reigns and The Rock against Freakin' and Cody.
Mm-hmm. That is correct. We just need one more.
WrestleMania 39 night 2. Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes.
So 39 night 2. Yes, that is correct. Okay, so you have secured yourself, Paul, a lovely little 10 points there.
Yeah.
So now it is, let's just check, 47 to Paul, 39 to Barry. So Paul, Barry, you do need, you could tie it up actually.
4.
So hang on, 39 to 47. So you could tie it up if you get 8 points, but if you get all 5, then you will
I'd win. Okay.
Anything less than 4 and you lose. So here we go.
Okay.
Tense.
So I'll pick up where Paul left off there. 30. Wait, no. Which one did he do? He did 30. You finished on 39 night 2.
Mm-hmm.
Let me say 39 night 1. The Usos versus Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens.
Correct.
Let me go 1 year earlier. Wait, no, I won't do that. Actually, I'll go the other direction first. Let me give you I'm going to give you the two 2020, the year 2020, the two COVID ones
COVID
here.
years, yeah. Okay.
Drew versus Brock.
Okay, so WrestleMania 36, 2020. Yes, that's correct.
And then the Boneyard match, AJ and Undertaker.
He's also correct.
And so then
he did say Brock Drew night 1 though, which is wrong, but we'll allow it.
I didn't ask for the night. I didn't ask for the night, to be fair.
2020. What year was this?
One to tie here, Barry. One to tie it up, and another one to win. Going well.
2021. Oh, Bianca versus Sasha.
That is correct.
2023. Wait, no, we've already done 2023. Careful now, Barry. Wait, hang on. So
Steady on.
So we did. So last year would have been 2024. That was Cody Roman. The previous year would have been 2023. That was Cody Roman. Okay, 2022. Kevin Owens versus Steve Austin.
Oh, he's done it. He's done it, folks. He's done it. He's got the big 15 points there. And Barry takes it. So that is final scores 54 to 47. Favorite Barry. Dramatic. Came down to the last question, which was what I designed the quiz to do. So that's very pleasing.
I need to do my geography homework.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I won't ask geography ever again. After that,
that would be great. That would be great.
After that shit show. No, so Barry wins. Yeah, you could have had. Obviously, there's a lot of with the different nights. There's a lot more. So I think you missed Reigns, Edge, Daniel Bryan, triple threat match, Lesnar versus Roman at WrestleMania 38. Actually, I think did we get all the others?
I think that's it. Then I think we got
actually,
the rest of them,
that was it. Because obviously we're only in 2025, so it's not been that many. Yeah, well done. Both
good stuff.
Very good
that was intense.
Very good. Very close.
That was intense. We will segue over here to our wrestling reviews. As previously mentioned, there was a barnstorming Dynamite to celebrate the becoming the longest running wrestling program on Turner Broadcasting, which was a very funny thing to be celebrating. I mean, celebrated as perhaps one of the best Dynamites ever, and I don't think that's wrong. I think it
was very good.
Kicked off with a semi-final in the Owen with Mercedes Moné versus Athena in a much built-up match. This was excellent, and I mean, if we're still after this, if we're sending Athena back to the Ring of Honor,
I don't know what we're doing.
I mean, that is promotional malpractice at that point. I mean,
yes,
fire Tony Khan.
Yeah, fire yourself, brother.
Shad, get in there.
Shad, get in there. You're the real big dog. Nick Khan told me you're the real big dog.
Cancel his credit card.
Yeah. But yeah, this was great. They just had I mean, this was in Boston, so obviously Mercedes was very popular. But they were very happy to see Athena as well, and to having a real. This is a pay-per-view quality match. I mean, it really was, which was the theme of the evening. Mercedes won, obviously.
Tremendous.
Pretty much straight up, pretty much just won it with the a jackknife pin, I guess it was, countering the Athena's stunner thing.
Well, it was like a Japanese rolling clutch, which is not a roll up you see very often at all.
It was well done.
Yeah.
Timeless Tony was in the stands eyeing up. I mean, I know Tony's been watching like all of the matches in the tournament. But I mean, it's really obvious we're heading towards Tony versus Mercedes, which should be quite great.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okada called Hangman a bitch. There you go. Young Bucks back. So it's time for Okada to go back to doing comedy. That's great. Love that. We'll skip.
Yeah, that's run its course. Let's just have Okada be fucking Okada.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I'm with you.
You call people a bitch, but in a more like, I'm actually
aggressive.
I want to fight them way, not in a.
But like he calls him a bitch when Hangman's gone. Hangman comes back and he goes, it's like, all right, guys, come on now. Hangman then came out for his wild card match in the Owen. As we had alluded to, he did face the Walking Weapon, Josh Alexander from TNA, which is a great fucking name. The Walking Weapon. Good match. Again, yeah. I mean, maybe not as good as some of the other stuff on this show, but if this was on a pay-per-view, you wouldn't blink twice at it in terms of quality. It was really good back and forth stuff. I thought Alexander acquitted himself quite well. I think given the occasion, I think everyone just really had the working boots on because Hangman was going all out. He did that crazy dive off the ramp, which is so cool. This is a really cool venue as well. It was obviously like a music hall, and so they had a ramp on level with the apron, which was cool. Really good stuff. So they spit it out, Barry. Page one with a roll up, a small package. Don Callis and Carl Fletcher came down to beat up the Hangman, and while Fletcher and Page were squaring off, Callis gets in the ear of Josh Alexander, and he gets back in the ring and he blindsides Page. So there you go, you got your new Callis family member there. So there you go. We got more patriarchy dissension teased with Christian backstage, or Christian as Nigel calls him.
He always calls him Christian.
That's his name.
Yeah, him, Christian DiBiase.
You just say, all I hear is you're saying Christian. So
yeah.
What's wrong with that? If you're from the south of England, you say Christian,
not Christian,
not Christian. I say it because I'm an old WWE. I don't know. I kind of overcome that. It's like people call Vince McMahon Vince McMahon.
Vince McMahon, yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Vince McMahon.
We call him Vince McMahon over here.
Up next, we had, I think the fella actually just announced the Pope's death, Bishop Khan. He's my favorite character in Conclave. Hurt Syndicate took on the Gates of Agony. I thought this was a really fun match, but this is another classic in the folder of you haven't seen the Gates of Agony in like months, and they like squash some skinny little lads on Collision, and then they get a title match on the very next episode of Dynamite, which is that old thing. I thought it was good fun though.
But we talk about like, could we have a women's feud that isn't about the title? Yeah. I mean, the tag division is even worse for that.
Yes. And can we have a little bit more vision? Could we have Gates of Agony back on Collision like a month ago?
Right.
Up jabrones. And I'm not saying they have to win some fucking best of 5 series with FTR before this match, but like just give me a smidge more. Give me a smidge more other than they reappear from nowhere 3 days before they get a title match,
Ring of Honor doesn't count.
Yeah, it so does not. It so does not. Good match, back and forth match. And Bobo and Shelton retained. Out comes MJF. He brings with him some lovely ladies, including one who was like about the size of Megan Bain. It made everyone in the ring except Bobby Lashley look small. So I kind of wanted her to just like lay out MJF and like pose with the ring or something after the fact. That would have been cool.
It's time for everybody to come aboard the train. This was a bit of a throwback, wasn't it?
It was a bit, wasn't it? Bringing them out as
sleep with a series of prostitutes. And to let me in your faction. Okay.
And Shelton pulling very funny face, going, "Oh, well, maybe I do. Maybe I do." So they once again they did the vote. So this is the thing they're trying to get over, and I imagine if and when they eventually do the big thumbs up, it'll probably get a pop because they go back then to this thing of doing the thumbs up, thumbs down is MJF in, right? And Shelton's thinking about it, and he asks for MJF's watch, and Bobby's like, "Come on, what is all this?" And so even with everything going on, and Shelton potentially being turned, he still goes thumbs down, and MJF goes, "Oh, listen, you can have my watch anyway. Have my watch anyway." And so MJF is not going to be deterred here. So there you go. We got
good segment.
It was as far as these MJF things have gone, this was all right. So we then had Takeshita versus Will Ospreay.
Ooh, baby.
In a rematch of one of last year's better matches. And I mean, it was fucking tremendous. I mean, it really was. Great crowd. Crowd in general on this Dynamite was fantastic. Red hot for everything. And they just had one of their... I mean, these guys just do the all-action match better than like almost anyone else today. Do you know what I mean? They're just hitting all this mad shit and they're fucking elbowing each other. And they did back-to-back kick-out-at-ones, which I thought was cute. Really, really, really great stuff. Really great stuff.
I mean, Takeshita is one of the best going, isn't he?
Absolutely.
Osprey not too bad either.
Yes, absolutely. So Osprey advances. So there you go. Go. This was go out of your way to see it. I mean, even if you're not regularly tuning into the to Dynamite, this is absolutely worth seeing. Yeah. As Paul alluded to earlier, they did I was going to say they did an angle. They didn't really do an angle. They said Hook was beaten up somewhere, and that he was out. So on top of our Jon Moxley wackiness replacing Pac, we also had the Death Riders defending the Trios titles against an unconfirmed collection of the Ops. It ended up being Powerhouse Hobbs, who came out to the third man spot. And this was a lot of fun. This was all action. They were flying all over the place. They were having a good action-packed 6-man brawl. Yeah. And they kind of peaked it in a very kind of wacky, over-the-top. All the baby faces came out to foil the heels from all their antics. You know, right. Willow out there tackling Marina and, giving Moxley the finger and stealing the chair off him. And with the numbers game neutralized, the baby faces won. And they all had a big champagne celebration with the Death Riders running Scourge at the very end there, which I thought was a really fun conclusion, and I think desperately needed. I think people need to see the Death Riders kind of getting some.
Yeah, it was very good, but like confusing in terms of like they didn't allude to the fact that Hobbs is like a stand-in. He's just the champ. And then at the end, Joe made a point to like put the belt on him and be like, no, you are part of. But then what does that mean for the group? What does that mean for Hook? Very odd. I mean, I like Hobbs. It's great. But also...
I think it's good. I wonder why do the confusion? Why not just say Hobbs is replacing, he's going to be the champion? It's fine. I don't know what their long-term plan is, but maybe this is part of the thing where like Tony always has a long-term plan and doesn't want to variate, but sometimes injuries happen and you can go like, right, Hobbs is part of this team. When Hook comes back, he'll just be like the fourth man in this sort of group. That's fine. That's good. There's nothing wrong with that, but they just leave this confusion around it. It's a bit of a sour taste in the mouth, you know.
But an excellent TV show. Excellent TV show.
Yeah, very good.
They stayed in the same building for a rare Thursday collision.
Collige.
Which was also very good. Kicked off with the Death Riders beating up some ringside attendants and smashing some equipment. Which I thought was good, to have them do something a little bit menacing, So Mox kind of addressed Joe, and there you go. That was that.
Yeah, I guess they'll be doing that match at
DON.
Mox Joe, which should be fun.
Should be good.
Again,
yeah.
I would nearly rather a more important feeling main event for Double or Nothing. But, I mean, it's obvious at this stage that Mox is going to go into All In as the champ.
Yeah.
So,
a little bit filler. This is their equivalent of like the Royal Rumble title match, A
little bit.
Kevin Knight defeated Lance Archer, which I was honestly kind of surprised at, given Kevin Knight's newness.
Lance Archer is a guy they beat a lot.
I know, yeah, but I was just kind of like, I mean, they just so rarely go so hot with a guy fresh out of the blocks. But he was a good match, Lance Archer's always good with a high flyer like Knight. So there you go.
Right, yeah,
good stuff. The Tony Schiavone had a letter from FTR, who were doing a disingenuous apology. Because they were but based on their actions on last week's collision, they were suspended basically for a week, which is kind of a funny suspension period.
And your children's children, for a week.
Yeah. Josh Alexander and Konosuke Takeshita versus Ishii and Rocky Romero. It's a solid enough match, basic match, nothing too crazy. Alexander pinned Ishii. After the match, who should return? Doing the dramatic take down your hood reveal. It was Trent. And he and Rocky. So Trent returned and Rocky turned heel all in one segment because Trent and Rocky then beat the shit out of Ishii.
Punky Vice.
So yeah, they're back, and the Callis family is really strengthening its numbers here.
Interesting.
So yeah, there you go. Then we had, I think, my favorite thing on the whole show, which was Megan Bain squashing two jabrones.
Oh, this is really
such
good.
a fucking great squash match. I mean, she just threw these ladies around and hit her big lariat. It was great. It was really great. Yeah, that was good fun.
It was great, but like, let's have Megan Bain do something here.
I know, but listen, we've said it. We said it. We anticipated this, and we were very skeptical of her future after that. But
She's winning. I mean, Joe's happy with that, but like, come on now. Let's fucking turn a feud with who'd be good. Who's not doing anything at the moment? Like fucking Willow or someone. I don't know.
Yeah, I was gonna say whoever, because I actually don't know who's gonna go. I assume Hater, but whoever loses the Hater Statlander. Oh no, actually no, they. I wouldn't do Statlander for Bane again because they've already done that like 3 times. But yeah, someone in on that team.
Hater would be great. Hater against Bane.
But my assumption is Hater is going to go to the Owen final. Was my sense.
Yeah,
but we'll take a look.
Good thing they've been building her up since her return.
Yeah. Adam Cole of the group Paragon. Everyone's talking about Paragon. Defended the TNT title against Claudio. I thought this was all right, to be fair. I'm down on Adam Cole, but it was good. Love a bit of Claudio, to be fair. So there you go. Claudio got pinned, and then he had another little tantrum where he broke everything down.
I like this new wrinkle to his character, though. Because I was getting a little bit bored by Claudio, to be honest.
Yeah, totally. Big Bill and Brian Keith are kind of doing the whole, Jericho was right to be mad at us. We're going to do better thing. So they're stringing out that turn. LFI, folks, remember these guys? They squashed some lads. So there you go.
I like LFI. Let's do something.
I like LFI too. I wish they were doing more.
I like when Roos says, if you mess with the bull, you get the horns.
It's good advice.
So what'll happen is next week on Collision, he'll get another kayfabe suspension. And he'll be away for 2 months.
We had Commander versus Nick Wayne for the ROH TV title.
Very good.
Which is great fun, yeah. Nice to see some Nick Wayne singles action.
More, please.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think we will get more. I think this might be his slot for a while because they're going to continue slow teasing this patriarchy thing. I would say.
Well, if they want to do, maybe they don't. I mean, I was going to say if they want to do Cope and Christian against FTR, you don't have a lot of time to get to it. But then maybe in typical AEW fashion, maybe the plan is that's for All Out 2026.
Well, the thing is, I think it might be for Texas, but even though that's looming, that is still like 2.5 months away. Do you know what I mean? They still got, and Double or Nothing is also like late May. So, because I was thinking of that when looking at the Owen brackets, I was like, okay, you've basically almost got your finals, and then you've got like 4 weeks to build them. So they're going to be doing like setting your finals, and then I guess the 2 people are going to have like a proper feud to build up the.
Well, that's what I was thinking in terms of the Fantasy League, is that the people who you're seeing on TV now, the stuff that's happening now, is low key. The all-in build. Do you know what I mean? Like the people that we're seeing use on TV, those are the people who are going to be on the all-in show. So, let's see.
We got then the main event, which was a lot of fun, was Hardy Cameron and Mercedes versus Chris Statlander and Julia Hart. It was really good fun, I thought.
It was.
Yeah, pretty good.
Still doing the old Harley Monet kind of.
I love the ventriloquism act. I love every time Mini Mercedes shows up. You always got to keep these two together as long as possible, don't you?
Yeah.
I mean, I know they did the match in Australia, but I feel like if it wasn't so nailed on that they were doing, and you could still do it to an extent, I guess. But like, I'd have them be like a little buddy
absolutely
team almost, you know.
especially because I think as one of our big criticisms was because like they didn't like really give Harley anything special in the match. I mean, they didn't even give her like one big oh my god near fall. Do you know what I mean? So that very much felt like the first of a thing they will go back to quite a bit. So I think they'll probably drag it out for a while. And yeah, I would stick these two together and then maybe do a proper split down the line. Not that they're not officially a pairing, but yeah. So there you go. Good fun. Again, that venue was great. The crowd was great. And, Collision, not quite on the level of Dynamite, but really good fun. Very watchable, just breezy 2-hour wrestling show. I did not watch Dark Side of the Ring yet. How was it this week, covering Owl, Tony, Atlas?
It was okay. I don't know. I don't know that his story is as inherently compelling as some of the other ones. They talk a lot about his kind of coming up in wrestling at a time where black talent weren't respected and so used, and kind of why it didn't ultimately work out for him to be a like top level star, kind of his own doing. They do talk about that he likes women like standing on his face.
Well, you knew they would, of course.
There was a lot of talk about that, but it was just kind of it was one of those ones where you didn't come away with any. Like, it wasn't a particularly, darker than you expected story. Or it was fine, yeah. Yeah. There was one funny bit where Mark Henry gave his insight on the Tony Atlas, Rocky Johnson tag team. He was, of course, 10 years old at the time that they were a team. So presumably all of his insight is received third hand from Tony Atlas himself, so why bother getting Mark Henry to give his thoughts? It's like when they get the Miz to be a talking head on like the story of the first WrestleMania.
Yeah,
like it felt a little bit like that.
And of course, celebrities had never really been involved in wrestling before. Sticking with telly here, where are we all on season 2 of The Last of Us?
I haven't started it, but I've played the game, so please.
So you can
put your Pascal dice.
Yeah, I know. I've known that for years.
I thought he was going to die. I think he was going to die in the first season. So I felt this season had been a bit. That episode was pretty crazy, but a bit anticlimactic because I was kind of like, well, I thought they would kill him off like end of season 1, and they kind of brought him back as a grumpy old man who fixes things. And then he gets killed. I don't know. It was a strange one. What do you make of it?
Well, that aligns with the games, to be fair. I mean, the story of the first game is very much the relationship of Joel and Ellie. And, the finale or the end of the game is Joel rescuing Ellie from the lab. Season 2, obviously, I have not watched any of it, but based on the game, it does seem like Joel's death is kind of, right at the beginning, and it's the crux for the story that season 2 and afterwards will be the aftermath of that, so to speak.
Yeah, I thought the most recent episode was really great. I thought the debut episode was good. It was a little bit of a place setter episode because obviously, it's not too much different from the game, Paul, because they do a time jump. They're like, all right, it's 4 years.
They're in the little town, I assume.
It's fairly 1-to-1. One thing I did appreciate about these 2 episodes is that I don't think there are any massive story changes, but there's a little bit more kind of creative filling in between the gaps. A little bit more original writing. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not just massive chunks of dialogue from the game, slightly repurposed, which was an odd thing about the first season. As fun as it was to see something so faithfully adapted, it was like, man, it's word for word in a lot of ways. So far, season 2, the story has remained broadly the same up to this point, but they've kind of fleshed things out a little bit. You're getting to know these characters a little bit more. The first episode was very much you're kind of like, all right, here's where we are. We're doing a time jump, so we're going to have to recontextualize things for you a little bit. And then the big change for episode 2. I won't get too into specifics for Paul here.
It's fine.
It's not any kind of massive spoiler, but Joe, the big battle in the town is entirely new. That's entirely new.
Right. Okay.
I just don't have any of that in the game. The death scene is pretty 1-to-1. It is pretty 1-to-1. All that other stuff though, for anyone who hasn't seen it yet, I mean, there's kind of like they have their Battle of the Bastards moment. They have a absolutely gigantic set piece that takes up the crux of episode 2. It is really over the top, and I thought it was really good. I thought it was really intense and thrilling. And I was I don't know. I kind of had the sense that I was like, something different could happen here. They could go in some different directions. I thought it was really well done. I've enjoyed it so far. I'm hoping they're going to continue tweaking things. Caitlin Dever has been quite good so far. I mean, she's great in everything she's in. This is a very challenging kind of role. One thing that seems like it's going to be somewhat... I mean, the big question mark, I think, for people like myself and Paul who played the game is how they were going to handle the formatting of this, for lack of a better term, Paul. The kind of... the second game...
I know what you mean, yeah.
Yeah, the first game plays out basically exactly like the season does. It's told in basically a linear order. You've your outbreak day, and then 20 years in the future, and then it plays in a linear progression. The second game, it's so, I mean, convoluted sounds like an insult, but it is. They jump forward in time, then you play as Abby. They don't tell you who Abby is. That's one key difference for Joe, I suppose. Paul, the cold open for the season is they tell you who Abby is straight away.
Right. Yeah, that's kind of I don't call it a mystery, but you're not understanding.
Yeah, you can like piece it. I think most people kind of piece together broadly who it was, but they don't give you the specifics. Like you play as Abby, you don't know who she is. Then you're playing as Ellie. Then the big death happens. Then you're playing as Ellie, but you're like present day flashback, and then like 20 hours deep in the game, like the second game is like twice as long as the first. They explain who Abby actually is. It sounded, I mean, it was great in execution. I've seen some people kind of annoyed that they took that stuff out. I just don't think it would work the same way for a TV show. I don't think you can have this incredibly pivotal central thing be tied up in complete mystery and not explain it for a season, basically.
Right.
But yeah, it was great. I mean, Bella Ramsey, great again. Really fantastic in the role, and the actors for Dina and Jesse are really great. Supporting cast, it's all the stuff that worked in season 1. Tommy, that performance, all really good. I'm very much enjoying it so far.
Yeah.
Curious to see what you make of it, Paul. When you
it'll be interesting to see in terms of as being a TV show. Season 1 and season 2 being like what there was a year gap in the middle, right? Mm-hmm. In terms of rolling them out, but like in terms of the games, there was like 7 years between the first game and the second game, so that's why maybe from the point of view of playing the game, the Joel thing maybe worked slightly better because you were going after 7 years coming back to The Last of Us, you were expecting maybe more of the same, and obviously they hit you from the beginning with this huge moment, this huge shift. Lots of good story to come, hopefully, based on the game. I mean, the game the story is very, very strong. I know people love the first Last of Us. I nearly prefer the story in the second.
I'm with you.
We will see.
We will see. Yeah, it's because the other thing as well. Yeah, there's a 7-year gap between the games, but also I think the funny thing is because everyone made the joke obviously about like, I mean, this is kind of like Sean Bean in Game of Thrones and stuff like that. The funny thing is, even though this is certainly shocking, and I've seen just so many different posts from people who did not play the games just floored by this, but it's a little bit more commonplace for this type of thing to happen in a prestige show. Whereas in a game, I mean, it was so people were so fucking upset about this. I really, if you don't know, if you do not run in gaming circles, I really cannot express how viscerally angry to the point that it was not like a fun, controversial thing. It got quite nasty, the fallout from that in real time. To explain how chopped up the narrative in the game is, Joe. So you see, you got the dance scene, right, where they have their little smooch,
right,
and then the big fella comes along and he's all bleeding, and then in this episode you have him going, sorry about that. Here's a sandwich.
Yeah, that was.
In the game, right? The game picks up. You're playing the morning after that dance that you do not see, and so he gives you the sandwich. Like, weird, some kind of confrontation happened. And then, like 30 hours later, you get the dance scene. where they and that sounds mental. It does work in context, but that is how chopped up the now. It is like Pulp Fiction times like 10. Like it is completely chopped and screwed. There's also, and keep an eye out for this, Paul. Like, this is one of the key differences. Okay. In that first episode, Joe, when they have their fight, Nelly tells him, I don't need your help or whatever. She walks past him and there he is. He's tuning his guitar on the patio, and she looks at him and she walks off. In the game, there is like an extremely critical conversation that happens between those two characters that I guess doesn't happen, or they might chop it and put it somewhere else. I don't know, but that's you'll probably notice.
You might get a flashback later.
Yeah, you might notice that, Paul. That's like they frame it so well as well. If you know the game, you're like, oh, are they going to do it right here? The timing is so odd, but they don't. So you're kind of like, all right, what are they going to do? But yeah, I really enjoyed it. And I'm curious on your take.
I'll be watching them in the week.
Other telly, on Paul's recommendation, I did start Common Side Effects, which I watched the first 2 episodes of. Really good. Yeah, enjoy it. Interesting premise. Kind of a weird blend of like tension and comedy. It's kind of
the comedy gets less as it goes on.
Yeah, I can sense that. I can sense it very much becoming a bear in kind of comedy and name only kind of way.
Right.
The comedy, because there's some fun stuff in the first 2 episodes, but they do almost serve as kind of old school comic relief in between narrative bits. But enjoying it. Very much enjoying it.
Okay, well, if you do enjoy it, check out Scavenger's Reign, which I think is much better with the same creator.
I really need to get to Scavenger's Reign. Also on the Adult Swim universe, I started watching YOLO, which is created by one half of the Smiling Friends creative team. I was a big Smiling Friends fan, thoroughly enjoyed that animated series. YOLO, so Michael Cusack, the creator of this, I mean, he has his origins in like Newgrounds era, like internet cartoon making, and you see a lot of that in Smiling Friends. This YOLO could be a Flash animation. I mean, in terms of it's like endearingly, weirdly shit animation, and it's just completely absurd humor. I loved it. I watched the first like 6 episodes. I think there's only one more in the first season. They're 11 minutes long, much like Smiling Friends. These are so bite-sized. They are so quick, but they're absolutely just crammed to the gills with jokes. I mean, they are just so dense and so funny, so silly, so over the top. I can't wait to watch the rest of them. That's YOLO, another animated show on the under the Adult Swim banner. How is the other big HBO return, The Rehearsal? How was that?
Very good. Am I the only one who's watched it?
Yeah, I'm gonna wait for Michelle to get back.
I have not yet.
Of course. Very strong. Very strong. There's a specific angle to it. Obviously, with The Rehearsal, it's very hard to talk about because, without spoiling it, because it is so concept heavy. I won't spoil anything about it. I will say that the new angle is very funny so far. I'm sure as the season goes on, it'll envelop in on itself like season 1 did and become something completely different. But very strong start to The Rehearsal. Looking forward to the remaining 5 episodes. I mean, I think Rehearsal season 1 is my favorite thing that Fielder has done. I think I liked it more than Nathan For You. And in fact, I would say that the Rehearsal season 1 is one of the best seasons of television I've ever watched.
I think that's fair. I think it's absolutely
yeah.
It's so unique and so
you can't compare it to anything.
It's not it's but even if you were to watch episode 1, I still couldn't explain to you the direction it would go in because it's so creative and so unlike anything else. It's like it would like trying to explain an alien way of life to someone.
Yeah.
Okay. So episode 1, very, very strong. I would say it didn't maybe blow my mind like season 1 did, but I think with a show like The Rehearsal, episode 1 kind of has to set the table a little bit for the other episodes to blow your mind. But it was very, very good. Like I said, very, very strong. we also have, I don't have it on the rundown, Joe, but we are a week and a half away from the air date of the next season of Taskmaster, which was confirmed in the week as being the 1st of May.
Here we
I'll be
go.
watching that.
Excited to watch it week by week.
Yeah, this will be my first season watching it week by week as well. I'm still not all caught up, but I'm fine with that. I'll presumably still understand what's happening. Wait a minute, they're 5 years older than last time I saw them. What the hell? Was it a time jump or some shit? I also watched the new Righteous Gemstones, which is also very good. That we're near the end of the season of Righteous Gemstones. Near the end of the series, in fact, because this is the final season. Another very funny episode I watched today.
Any other telly net?
I watched all of Stath Let's Flats.
Yeah, I've heard of this. Yeah,
It's a show. I've seen like 1 or 2 episodes or bits and pieces of it, and I've always kind of meant to watch it, but just never got around to it. But yeah, it's a Channel 4 show about a Greek Cypriot estate agent who is kind of almost, I don't want to say like a Mr. Bean style, but it's in that kind of spirit of someone who's like a child in an adult's body kind of thing. It's so funny. I laughed a lot at it. I watched all. There's 18 episodes. They're only 22 minutes. So I watched it all in a week. It's so funny from start to finish. I don't know. I think maybe in another era it would have taken off even more. I know it has been a bit of a cult hit, but I feel like it could have been even more iconic as a character. My only thing is I wonder how well it sort of translates, because it does feel a bit like, I don't know, if you live in London, there's a lot of people like this who kind of speak like he does, and in just that kind of way. But yeah, I thought it was very funny. I'd say it's up there with me in like my top sort of 3 to 5 sitcoms of this era that we're in, the kind of 20 whatever this is, late 2010s COVID era. It's up there for me with like Derry Girls and Ghosts and a few others. But yeah, stuff like that's very, very funny. And the problem is, after watching it, he talks in a very kind of unique way, which if you've seen any clips, you'll see. But I found myself wanting to speak like the character after that, after watching so much of it. Like,
yeah, you pick up
like,
the
no one else is here. I'm home alone at the moment, so I'm speaking to the cat in like I'm Stath Let's Flats. But anyway, very, very good. Very, very funny show.
Whenever I see the name, I haven't seen it ever. I don't know anything about it. Whenever I see the name of the show, I think it's about Jason Statham for some reason. And I know a Greek guy called Status, so that's funny as well.
Right.
Shall we talk about some movies?
Movies.
Yes.
Movies.
What have you seen this week, Paul?
Just one. But I did go out to the cinema to see the new Ryan Coogler film, Sinners, off the back of some absolutely banging reviews. My source of reviews that I am most trusting of, which is the Irish Times, I find that what I like in movies, whoever does their reviews, I'm typically quite aligned to. They gave it the full 5. So I said, okay, we got to go out to see this. So we did go to our local movie theatre, where movie tickets cost €6.99, which is a very welcoming price to keep.
Nice price.
Nice price. I did read, by the way, a little tangent. I was reading Power Slam from February 1996, and they talked about, there's a lot of discourse at the moment about wrestling ticket prices with WrestleMania and Forbidden Door coming up and all that. They did mention that this is in December 1995. There was a New Japan show where front row tickets cost £325, which would be £650 in today's money.
Jeez.
All the way back in 1995, that was still the case. But no, I went to see Sinners and I bought my ticket, and luckily we got one of the very small screens, which I prefer because the fewer people, the fewer annoyances there will be. So I came in and got to my seat, and I looked down, and there was a fella there with a big old tray of stinky cheese and nachos. And, well, he saw the look on my face. He got up and moved.
Oh God!
I mean, I looked at him I didn't intend to, by the way. I'm not really a horrible guy. These guys, Joe Barry.
I'm a nice guy.
I'm a nice guy. But you know, I wasn't looking at him to be like, oh my God, what an absolute pig I'm sitting next to. But I did look at the cheese, and I did give, I'm sure, like, subconsciously, my face had a look on it like, oh, fuck. But your man, to his credit, got up and moved. Like, the whole row was free next to him. So he got up and moved a few seats down, which I appreciated. So shout out to the nacho guy in the cinema. Although, if you're going to the cinema, don't fucking get nachos. Don't be that fucking person. If you want to get popcorn. Cinema, I mean, what was the one where I was watching the Red Letter Media video from a few months ago where there's like cinemas in America where you can get like pizza and stuff.
Yeah.
Just...
and chicken fingers.
Nuke America at this stage. Don't... wait till Michelle comes home first. Then drop them up.
Drop it.
But the nachos, I can't sit next to a big smelly thing of nacho cheese.
Smelly nacho.
I can't do it. I don't have it in me. Popcorn's fine. If you want to have a drink, is fine. There was a fella opening a crinkly bag of crisps. It took him about 10 minutes.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Just constant.
No hot food or unopened food in the cinema, right? Popcorn.
Look, when it comes to bags of crisps, I almost feel like just do it quickly and get it open. If it makes a loud noise for 1 second, I can survive. But the just dragging it. Anyway, the cinema experience was mostly very good. The fella with the nacho cheese moved. The fella with the crisps, okay, that was like, I could get over that. Let's talk about Sinners. Sinners was an absolute banger. It was excellent. I loved it. That's not to say it's perfect, because I do feel like, especially towards the end, it wobbles a little bit. Some of the stuff they do in the end isn't narratively super smart or satisfying. But the film throughout is so fucking good, so rich. The music, Ludwig Göransson. I mean, he's not the director, but I mean, so this is a movie where almost the credit should not necessarily go to the director, but instead should go to the score composer, because the music in the movie is so good. It's a movie that's really about blues music and the importance of that music on this specific society. So the story, to give a very, very brief rundown of the movie is about this young guy who has a pair of cousins who are twins, who are both played by Michael B. Jordan in a dual role, which is very popular at the moment. And they are putting together a juke house, which is like a roadhouse, similar to the movie Roadhouse, where they play blues music. And so all the black people in the town can forget about their worries and go and let loose and have a party and be free for an evening. And that's kind of one of the big themes in the movie, is about freedom and about, you know, living free and not being beholden to real life and real life worries. And that's, you know, white oppression of black people is a big theme in the movies. And so the movie is about them putting together this big party, and then around the halfway mark, there's a shift in tone to something else. But the music is so good. The performances are, to a person, excellent. Every single person. The young kid who's kind of the lead character of it, who has this really rich, deep voice, and he's like a blues singer, blues guitar player. Excellent. I think this was kind of his coming out, kind of introducing this actor. He was excellent in it. There was an older actor. I'll get their names up here as well, because I think they were so good that they are deserving of it. Let me pull it up here. Where's the cast? Miles Caton as Sammy Preacher Boy Moore. He's the younger guy. Really great. Delroy Lindo, who was in The Five Bloods and apparently should have been Oscar nominated, but was unfortunately not. He's absolutely amazing in it as well. Haley Steinfeld, Michael B. Jordan, of course, Jack O'Connell. Really strong cast. Really, really strong cast. So it's got excellent music. It looks fantastic. Performances are all great. But it is, very importantly as well as being a very technically good film, it's also wildly entertaining. it's like a really fun movie, as well as having this like rich, wonderful music. And there's, when I give a film a really high score, I do have almost an unofficial requirement where I need there to be like one scene where the director does something so unique that it like kind of blows my mind a little bit. This film has that. There is a scene around the halfway mark where, I don't want to spoil it again, but kind of the music becomes more ritualistic and actually starts to like sort of transcend reality and time. And they do something super unique with it. It's so good. Like I say, towards the end, it kind of, there's certain bits around, oh, that wasn't super, that was a bit dumb, or that was a bit whatever. But it does come around in the end. I did like the ending quite a bit. And then there's like a coda, which kind of makes up for some of my concerns about the ending as well. But yeah, I did go the full 5. The full 5. Look, I can see people who might go an 8 or a 9, because like I said, it's not a perfect film. But for me, there was enough excellence throughout that I found it very easy to forgive some of the lesser moments. So big recommendation on Sinners.
Nice.
It does lean, if you've seen the trailer, you'll know it does lean into some horror elements in the second half.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, really best film I've seen this year, and I think it's the first 10 I've given to a new release since 2020, early 2023. So if you get a chance.
Nice. Well, just see that on Sunday at the IMAX. Yeah, sure. She just told me she's booked the tickets, so we have to move the show. But anyway, or I won't be on it.
Yeah, it's okay. It's for a movie like Sinners, Joe. It's worth it. Oh, I would love to just go and listen to those songs. I need to get that soundtrack.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, if you like blues music at all, if you have any like respect or reverence for blues music, oh, it's so good. Oh my God.
Nice. Do you want to do your movie, Barry? Because I'm going to whiz. I've got quite a few, and I'm just going to do a quick, like, boom, 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 boom.
Sure, yeah. I watched Novocaine this week, which is one of another Jack Quaid starring role. Kind of a fun little kind of low budget. You won't believe it's not a comic book movie. It's about a guy. He has that thing what one of the Pierce Brosnan Bond villains have, where he can't feel pain on a physical level. And so because of his condition, he goes through living a very sheltered, boring life. He liquidizes all his meals. He doesn't socialize with people. He has his assistant manager job at a bank, and he just keeps himself to himself because he's just like, if he got punctured, he wouldn't know, and he wouldn't be able to stop himself from bleeding, so on and so forth. He finds himself at the center of a crime scene. His bank gets robbed, and he has to pursue a love interest who's been taken hostage. And he becomes a sort of unwitting kind of superhero type character because he can't feel pain. So they have all these gory but also like comedic kills where he's sort of Mr. Beaning his way through a bunch of fight scenes because he can't feel pain, and he can just like stick his hand in like an air fry or a deep fat fryer to get a gun because he won't feel the pain from doing it. And that's kind of the thrust of the movie. It's good fun. It's a fun idea. The effects are good. The fights are fun. It's got a fairly breezy runtime. I like Jack Quaid. And it's also got Amber Midthunder in it, who is of Prey fame, who was quite good in Prey. And I haven't seen her in anything since, so it was good to see her again in this. And Ray Nicholson, who is quite good, but he's already kind of being slotted as Smiley Madman. Because
like Jack Nicholson was.
Like Jack Nicholson in The Shining. But he's good. I mean, he's definitely, I've enjoyed him in all the things I've seen him in so far, and I want to check out that Borderline film with Samara Weaving, which looks quite good. It's good. It's good fun. Look, this also just my big complaint about this was the lighting and the general visual flair or lack thereof, you might say, for this film. Like in the first kind of like 20 minutes, like he's working in a dingy LED lit office. Like, oh, okay, maybe they're like tonally kind of doing this because he has like a boring, sheltered life. But then even as the film tonally kind of shifts and he kind of starts finding his groove, it just always looks ugly. Everything just looks like it's shot in an office with like half of the lights off and all the curtains drawn. It's just dark and ugly, and everything is just so shadowy and grey. it just has that modern movie look, and it's so distracting because it's a very kind of, like I said, it feels comic booky. It feels like an almost like a 90s inspired like comic book movie. It's got a lot of fun. It's having a lot of fun, and that is not tied into the visual style of it at all, which is really unfortunate. I think it really held the movie back, but a solid watch nonetheless. If you want like an action comedy, I think it's a good watch. That's all I watched this week.
Joe, it is
right. Let's go. I've been watching a lot of movies this week. Number one, Triangle of Sadness. This is the movie about rich people on a boat. Starring Harris Dickinson. Yeah, I was expecting something very different. I assumed it was kind of like The Menu, the Ralph Fiennes and the Joy movie. Like, it was a very kind of comedic sort of over the top movie about rich people, but it's actually a bit more art housey than I was expecting. Yes. So I quite liked it. I wasn't that into it. I did quite like the way it twists towards the end. Yeah. But I also thought a little bit on the nose in terms of the symbolism. You'll know what I mean, of the way things kind of reverse towards the end. There's a very kind of mad seasickness sequence in the middle, which was very funny and very kind of speaking of Paul's point about having a scene that's like, really stands out. That one did for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, decent. Alien Romulus. I keep watching,
the best of Alien.
I keep watching these Alien movies, and this one was good. The cast were kind of alright, but I've seen it all before. I've seen Xenomorphs. I've seen people trying to get through hatches that have closed. I've seen people going, "What's this all about?" And we know what it's all about because I've seen all the other movies. So you know what I mean? Like, they're going, "Oh, what?" It's like, have you ever seen a fucking Alien movie? Come on, just go out and watch them. There's loads. You'll know what's going on. So it was fine. I kind of read the idea, like, when I was reading the trivia, someone had said, like, there was a deleted scene in one of the earlier movies that had a bunch of kids running around the colony, and it was like, oh, what if you had, like, kids that had grown up in one of these colonies then get aliens? And it was like, yeah, what if that happened? Because this is nothing interesting at all. This is just the same as the other movies. Like, this doesn't really get into that at all. So it was fine. Keep watching them, I guess. Black Swan. I'm a bit late to this one. It's been 15 years since Natalie Portman's, Oscar-winning performance. Darren Aronofsky. It was good. It was interesting. I didn't really. I guess the conceit is, it's about a ballerina who wants to be. Is it Swan Lake? I think it is. Yeah, she wants to be the lead ballerina in Swan Lake, and she's having to drive herself to kind of crazier and crazier, intensity. And it's like, is she going crazy, or is she just actually seeing things, or is she being, seeing all these visions and weird things are going on? I wasn't really that bothered, to be honest, as to whether she was or she wasn't. I was just kind of going along with it. So it was kind of a good watch, but I wasn't particularly engaged sort of within the characters or the story.
I love Black Swan.
You love Black Swan? I thought it was good. Maybe if I watched it again, I'd like it more, but I don't know.
It has that kind of weird nightmare.
It's a bit standoffish, bit kind of disassociated from it, I think I would say. Number 3, Conan the Barbarian.
Which one?
The Arnie one, not the remake.
Okay.
There was a sequel. I didn't watch that.
Yeah, Momo was in the sequel, I think.
No, I think Arnie did a sequel. Conan
but then there was a remake.
Destroyer, then Momo did the remake. Yeah, original Conan the Barbarian. I think the last kind of Arnie franchise I haven't seen. I've seen all of his other iconic films. This was the last one. Like, I think this was his first sort of big breakthrough role, wasn't it? And one of the most wooden performances I've ever seen on screen. I mean, he takes acting to a whole new level, and it's not upwards. Let's put it that way.
Right.
There's one point where he's sort of reading from a scroll, but he's not reading out loud. He's just looking at the scroll as if he's reading. And it's the least convincing reading I've ever seen. It looks like he can't actually read. Like, he's sort of looking at it like, what is this? There's also a scene where he's sort of tied up. He's been tortured or something, and he's tied up, and he has to cough. Again, I've never seen someone cough on screen and not believed it before, but this was the least believable coughing I've ever seen. It was so bad. It's like he's never coughed before. Like, what are you doing? Honestly, awful. But then again, he had something. Obviously, he had something, and it comes through in this film. And thankfully, I think they learned from this and realized that he has to be someone who doesn't express himself. but it's just that charismatic kind of presence. It was a fun film, very visual, lots of kind of very visual sequences with a little kind of dialogue, and I really appreciate that. I do find that with older films, people could just sit and watch a film and not have to be explained what was going on constantly. So I did appreciate that, and also the costumes of the production. Again, no CGI, no kind of cheapness. Like, they do it properly. You have big hordes of people. You have great costumes, great sets. It all looks really good. It's like a movie that's been crafted and actually kind of made properly. So I did quite appreciate Conan the Barbarian in spite of the acting. The French Connection, I don't have too much to say to it. I think it probably would have been groundbreaking back in the kind of auteur 70s. It's, it's about this cop played by Gene Hackman in a kind of gritty New York. But I think it's one of those where all the stuff that followed it was inspired by this type of filmmaking. Right. So it doesn't feel as impactful, because I watched it and just thought, this feels like a gritty 70s kind of, cop thing. Like, not too much stand out for me. I do think Gene Hackman is absolutely marvelous, though. R.I.P. His performance is probably what makes it stand out as a film. 3 Days of the Condor. This is a Robert Redford kind of paranoia 70s Cold War thriller. He plays a CIA agent who pops out for lunch and comes back and finds his entire office murdered. That's the setup of the film. And it's great. He's really good. It's a little bit All the President's Men, which came out the year after this. But I've been meaning to watch this for a long time. He's very good in it. It's very good. Sideways, another one that I've been meaning to watch for 20 years. This is a Paul Giamatti film where he and a friend go to wine country. The friend is what's his name? The Sandman from Spider-Man films. Thomas Hayden Church, yeah, which was so funny. Seeing him in a proper role. It's very different again from what I expected. It's kind of two friends who go on a road trip to like wine country in California, but it's not from it's Alexander Payne film, obviously, and I thought it was going to be all about wine. Like, it was a bit more of a wine thing, but that's very much not the vibe. It is more of a road trip of two friends, and the wine is kind of a background element of it. But I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really funny. I love the dynamic between the two of them. Great supporting from Virginia Madsen and Sandra Oh as well. Just a very funny, kind of charming film. I should watch some more Alexander Payne, because I liked this and I liked The Holdovers. So
yeah, I've never seen Sideways, and I like Alexander.
I think
as well.
Yeah, you'd like this. I think.
I love Nebraska. That's one for you to check out.
And you
John.
love wine as well, so this fella likes his wine.
Chardonnay, please.
Ooh, I'll have a little.
I think
one of them. Thank you. And finally, I watched MaXXXine. The second film of the trilogy that I've seen. I still haven't seen X, which is the first one, but I've seen Pearl and now MaXXXine. I loved when I saw like the trailer, what this was going to be. I was like, oh, this looks great. It's a very silly film.
Yeah,
it's very like it kind of reminds me of like a GTA trailer. Like, that's basically the whole entire film. It's like porn stars and private detectives and cars and LA in the 80s and serial killers and all this kind of stuff. Like, I quite enjoyed it, but it was just like, make a list of all the things you think would be cool to do in like Hollywood in the 80s and just film that. I didn't enjoy it as much as Pearl, but it was fine. It was okay. I look forward to seeing the other one. But
yeah, check out it.
It's
really good.
But yeah, MaXXXine. I wouldn't wholeheartedly recommend it, but it did enough for me to sort of enjoy it, but without being particularly good. And that was it. I saw me films. Oh, I watched a bloody lot of them.
What a sweet.
So many films.
I mean, how did you squeeze all those films in amidst all your BALATROing?
Well, what you do is you play BALATRO while watching the films.
Oh, so it's a two-screen experience. I see.
Double screening it. Yes, I have beaten BALATRO. I vowed last week to beat it by the end of April, and it only took another week. It wasn't as bad at the end as I had feared, because I think the problem is once you get to the end, basically you're trying to complete gold difficulty runs with every single Joker. Obviously, as you complete more Jokers, there's fewer left to do, which makes it harder to get them. It turned out not to actually be that hard in the end though, because I think what I had left were common jokers, so they appeared quite often, so it wasn't too bad. Very, very satisfying. And then I saved the jokerless level for last, the challenge, which is basically a challenge where you have no jokers whatsoever. They're completely banned. You can only rely on planet cards or tarots and spectre cards. I heard a lot of people really kept saying they were struggling online, so I feared that one, but I actually managed to do it in probably 3-4 hours of play.
Okay.
Got through that one. So yeah, incredibly satisfying. I was suffering a bit at the last few weeks playing it, but I just wanted to get it done. Otherwise, I'd never go back to it probably and bother to finish it. But yeah, very, very good game. It's already, I think, just from that one playthrough, it's on my Mount Rushmore of games, along with Super Mario, GTA, Doom, and Football Manager. Probably those are my 5 big games.
Your Rushmore.
Yeah, Mount Rushmore. I wouldn't recommend doing the 100% unless you're really into it. But it's fun. So
I played 80 hours and I did not even come close to 100%.
No, me neither.
That's the thing. Because I was like, when the first month I played it was December. I started at the beginning of December. And you're rushing. I got through 30%. I was like, I'm going to finish it before Christmas. This is, no. And then you realize the first 30% is pretty, easy. It's that. It's the next 30%. It's pretty hard. Great game. They're talking about 1.1 coming out. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I might wait for a bigger update to go back to it. Yeah, great game. Devilish in its simplicity, but infinite complexity. I think that's what makes for such a great game.
Oh, it's a tremendous
idea.
It's perfect, really well put on.
It is a perfect video game. Paul, what have you been playing this week?
Avowed, and lots of it. I'm in the 3rd area now.
Oh wow, okay, you skipped me.
Yeah, I beat the 2nd area. Well, not counting the original little tutorial area, but I'm in Shatterscarp, or whatever it's called now. I think about halfway through that. I've done most of the map there. I've done a lot of the quests, so I'm thinking probably in the next week or so I'll probably have beaten it. I don't anticipate that I'm going to do any kind of 100% trophy hunting. I'm doing every quest I can find. I'm trying to do as much at least of the quests and stuff, but I'm not going to be finding every single little secret in the game. Still very much enjoying it. I'm about 24 hours in, I want to say, give or take. Very fun. And now they've announced, or they haven't announced, but it's for all intents and purposes announced, this Oblivion remake.
Yes,
that's going to be coming out. So after having played Avowed, am I really going to sink 100 hours into an Oblivion remake? You know what? I probably am. Because Oblivion, Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, was that first game for me. Back in 2005, I had the 360. And this game came out. I didn't know anything about it. I saw it got very good reviews, picked it up, Elder Scrolls Oblivion. And there was one of those milestone games for me where I was like, oh my God, I can do anything in this game. I can go anywhere. First truly open world game I think I possibly ever played. So I have a huge nostalgia for Oblivion. I love the music. I love the map. I love the Imperial City and all that comes with it. And so I think if that comes out, I don't know when they might announce it for, but if that comes out anytime soon, I can easily see myself going from Avowed straight into that because I love a bit of Oblivion. I prefer it to Skyrim. I prefer it to... do I prefer it to Fallout? Probably, maybe not actually, but as far as fantasy games go, I just have such a soft spot for Oblivion. I would love to revisit that world. I did try to play a little bit of it post Skyrim, and I found it too much of a step back to enjoy it. So I'm hoping this remake is going to solve some of those quality of life issues. Like the loading times were absolutely unbelievable.
You'd hope for better on a mod
for better.
So
let's see what this remake looks like. Bethesda aren't exactly on a great streak at the moment, but I'll definitely be playing it when it comes out.
I mean, this has been rumored for so long.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of the rumors have also pertained to it being, quote unquote, shadow dropped as well. So I think people are anticipating like they formally reveal it, and then if it's not instantly out, like
it'd be like later today
or later today.
Yeah.
So yeah, should be in people's hands fairly soon. That's going to do it for this bumper edition of the ChairShot Podcast. Thank you so much.
WrestleMania edition
of the show. Thank you for listening, folks. We will be back next week, your regularly scheduled Sunday slot. ChairShotPodcast.com is where you can go to listen to the show. It's also where you can go to...
No, we won't be back next Sunday because Joe will be seeing Sinners.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll be back at some point in the next while. We will be back. We'll be back. Sorry, I'm just looking at the. It's now a recurring feature on the show where I laugh at the Alzheimer's before we.
Let me have a look.
Oh dear. Oh,
the Triple H being there has made it for me.
Very good. So we'll be back at some point next week, folks. ChairShotPodcast.com is where you can listen to the show. It's also where you can email us a quiz, a question, a feedback, a movie review, a wrestling thing, a non-wrestling thing. Are you watching Last of Us? Are you watching The Rehearsal? Where does it rank for you on the Field of Projects? Also where you can go to check out the Fantasy League spreadsheet in real time. It's all up there for you. Paul keeps that.
And you can go to youtube.com/ChairShot Podcast
to listen as well. If you're a YouTube premium subscriber like I am, because I love the YouTube premium. So with all that said, thanks very much for listening, folks. Thank you to my co-hosts. It's goodbye from me, Barry. It's goodbye from Paul.
Goodbye.
It's goodbye from Joe.
Goodbye.
Happy